but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Reitzman was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Reitzman was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a three-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Reitzman was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Reitzman was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Rietzma was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Madden says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Rietzma was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Madden says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Rietzma was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Reitzman was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Reitzman was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Rietzma was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Rietzma was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Rietzma was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Rietzma was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a 3-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record. So has not exactly been a stopper. He's given up 5 or more runs in 6 of 9 starts. Seattle reliever Chris Rietzma was put on the DL before yesterday's game because of inflammation in his right elbow. Youngster Sean Green, not the guy on the Mets, was recalled from AAA to take his spot on the active roster and pitch 2 perfect innings of relief, striking out 3. During their 5-game losing streak, the Devil Rays have scored early, but not often. Of just 12 runs scored during this skid, 6 have come in the first inning. Third baseman Akinori Iwamura is making a quicker-than-expected comeback from the oblique strain. Manager Joe Maddon says a Monday return against Detroit is Plan A for Iwamura after he played pain-free in extended spring training on Wednesday. It's the Mariners and Devil Rays, Ramirez versus So. Game time set for 3:10 in St. Petersburg. You can see it live on MLB.TV beginning at 3 Eastern. Seattle Mariners hope to pull off a three-game sweep today at Tropicana Field as they face the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Horacio Ramirez toes the rubber for Seattle. Jay So counters for the Devil Rays. Game time in St. Petersburg set for 3:10. Jose Guillen, Yuniesky Betancourt had 2 RBIs apiece. The Mariners knocked off the Devil Rays 5-1 last night. Seattle comes into today's action having won 3 of their last 5. According to M's announcer Rick Riz, the team is playing quite well as of late, much better than their .500 record indicates. Goodbye, baseball. B.J. Upton got the Devil Rays on the board early last night, but that was all the offense they could get. Tampa Bay has now dropped 5 in a row, back to reality after that magical sweep over the Rangers in Disney World. Horacio Ramirez comes into today's game 4-2, 6.10 ERA. In his last outing, he picked up a win over the Padres, going 6 innings, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. The lefty's still looking for his first road win of the year. Jay So earned a loss in his last outing, giving up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3 to the Marlins. The righty comes into the game with a 7.8 ERA and a 2-4 record.
Today's game is brought to you in part by the St. Petersburg Times, the official newspaper partner of the Rays. Tropicana Pure Premium. Have a Tropicana morning. BB&T. Banking. Insurance. Investments. BB&T. There's opportunity here. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on your car insurance. Metro PCS. Unlimited flat rate, no contract wireless. Metro PCS. Permission to speak freely. Your Southern Chevy dealers. Test drive an all-new Chevy Silverado. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Kane's Furniture. Biggest selection. Lowest prices. Pepsi, your world, your Pepsi. And by the Florida Lottery. Over 877 millionaires since 1988. You could be next. Here's the radio voices of the Rays, Dave Wills and Andy Free.
Welcome, everyone, to Tropicana Field, a Thursday afternoon game, and it's getaway day for both the Rays and the Seattle Mariners, as the Mariners are looking for a sweep, and the Rays trying to salvage one here for Seattle. Their only visit into Tropicana Field this year. The Rays have lost each of the first 2 games, both by similar outcomes, 5-2 in Game 1, in which the Rays scored first, and 5-1 yesterday. Again, the Rays scored first, but only got 2 hits after the second inning, and never saw daylight again, as once the Mariners took over, they scored with 5 unanswered runs. That's happened each of the last 2 nights. Let's go over today's starting lineups now, brought to you by K-Clubs Resorts and Marinas. Unrivaled amenities, unforgettable destinations. For Mike Hargrove's Mariners, who have reached the .500 mark, they're 21 up and 21 down. Tied for second with the Athletics, 4.5 behind the first place Angels in the American League West. Leading off is center fielder Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro riding a 16-game hitting streak. Batting second is the designated hitter, Jose Vidro. The right fielder is Jose Guillen. He will hit third. In the cleanup spot, the left fielder Ben Broussard makes his series debut. Batting 5 and at first base, Richie Sexton. The catcher and hot-hitting Kenji Joljima bats number 6. Batting 7th and at shortstop, Yuniesky Betancourt. Second baseman Jose Lopez bats number 8, and then hitting 9th and at third base, Willie Bloomquist, who plays for the first time in this series as well. Again, Ichiro, Vidro, and Guillen, followed by Broussard, Sexton, and Joljima. The bottom third of Betancourt, Lopez, and Bloomquist, 1 through 9 for the Mariners, with the left-hander Horacio Ramirez on the mound. He is 4-2, an earned run average of 6.10. More about him in a little bit. For Joe Maddon's Rays, who are right now season worst, 9 games under. They're 18-27, 12.5 behind the league or the division leading Red Sox, but only 3 games out of second place. It's all bunched together in the AL East. Leading off playing center field, B.J. Upton. Batting second, the shortstop, Brendan Harris. Batting third and in left field, Carl Crawford. In the cleanup spot, playing second base this afternoon, is Ty Wigginton. Batting 5 and in right field, Delman Young. The first baseman is Jorge Cantu. He'll bat 6th. Hitting 7th is the designated hitter, Johnny Gomes. Catcher Diana Navarro bats 8th, and third baseman Josh Wilson bats 9. Again, Upton, Harrison, Crawford, followed by Wigginton, Young, and Cantu. The bottom third of Gomes, Navarro, and Wilson, 1 through 9 for the Rays. You notice Carlos Pena is out of the lineup, and as Joe Maddon said before the game today, it's kind of scary to take your one.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition. It's about never giving.
Will be available to pinch hit against a right-handed heavy bullpen later on for the Rays today. So we'll see how that all takes shape. The Rays stacking up the right-handers, as you notice. Both Cantu and Gomes, who have by and large been bench players, are in the starting lineup today. Outside, well, As always, it's warm and it's a hot 85 degrees in St. Petersburg, but inside Tropicana Field, as always, it's a cool 72 degrees thanks to Trane air conditioning. And now through May 31st, get a mail-in rebate up to $1,200 on a new Trane comfort system. Visit TraneRebate.com for a participating independent Trane dealer. It's hard to stop a Trane. We'll take a look now at the starting pitchers. As we mentioned, Horacio Ramirez for the Mariners and Jay So, who is 2-4 for the Rays. Starting pitchers brought to you by Kane's Furniture, biggest selection, lowest prices. And for Jay So, you wonder if patience is running thin for the Rays. It's basically been 2 bad starts for every good start this year for Jay So. 2 games ago, he was nothing short of brilliant against the Toronto Blue Jays up at Rogers Center. 7 shutout innings, had a no-hitter, 2 out into the 5th, and allowed just 2 hits, and ended up getting the victory. And yet in his last start, it came back again, and was the Jay So that was hanging his changeup. In fact, he went away from his changeup quite a bit in his last game. 5 1/3 innings, 7 runs, 8 hits, walked 3 and struck out only 2, and gave up no less than 3 home runs in that game against the Marlins. The numbers this year on Jay So: 2-4 with a 7.80 earned run average. He also has the highest opponent's batting average amongst Major League starters. The league is hitting .347 this year against Jay So, the 29-year-old out of Gwangju, South Korea. You're wondering if he is pitching to keep his rotation spot. That by no means official in any way, shape, or form. But as you look at So, and you look at what is happening for the Rays at AAA and some of the guys at the bullpen pitching, well, the Rays were counting on So to be their number 2 starter, and he has not been consistent this year for the Rays. Meanwhile, for the Mariners, 27-year-old left-hander Horacio Ramirez.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up.
Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Elbow, and that happened in the collision last Saturday with Miguel Olivo of the Marlins. Incredible to know that Josh Paul, who's going to be on the DL no less than 2 months, was able to play the rest of the game with that hyperextended elbow. That's, as somebody said today, he's a catcher. He deals with the injuries. So we wish our best to Josh Paul. He's off to a very good start for the Rays this year, throwing the best that he has in his whole career and swinging the bat a little better too. But it'll be a couple of months off for Josh Paul as he tries to recuperate the hyperextended elbow. And meantime, the Rays have called up Sean Riggins. And the Rays were waiting for Riggins to get better because he's been on the disabled list as well. Riggins on the DL with a right elbow strain. Today is the day he was eligible to come off. And he was hitting .295 with the Durham Bulls. 9 doubles, 4 homers, 14 batted in. Last year he was a September call-up for the Rays. Gotten about 10 games or so and hit .172. But the Rays would prefer to not have him be utilized today. Deanna Navarro has been doing all the catching for the Rays. Ty Wigginton had been the emergency catcher. Riggins could come in defensively today if necessary. The question is, how will he be able to throw the baseball? There's a chance that if he comes in, they really may not have him do a whole lot of throwing anyway, but it would only be a borderline emergency situation for Riggins to even play today, although he's going to be very much available and probably start one of the games over the weekend against the Chicago White Sox. So Riggins on the club. Josh Paul is on the DL, retroactive to May the 20th. And again, our best to Josh Paul as he tries to come back from that left elbow sprain. The Rays are taking to the field. Jay So set to make his warm-up tosses before his 10th start of the year. I'm Andy Freeman. Dave will stay with us. We'll come back with the first pitch of the Rays and the Mariners next on the Rays Radio Network.
This message goes out to all the love machines. Every love machine needs something to keep it.
Baseball. It's about loyalty.
It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up.
Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
For heading to a rough place to win, U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago over the weekend against a very hot-hitting Chicago White Sox team. So the Rays are facing the Mariners. Game 3 just about set to get underway. And now for the play-by-play to get us going, let's send it over to Dave Wills.
Andy, thank you very much. And Ichiro Suzuki to lead things off. And the first pitch to him is high and outside for ball one. Underway right at 3:10. Suzuki, a .328 hitter with a couple of homers, 15 runs batted in. 16-game hitting streak, and he rolls one on the ground to the right side. Can't do Fields. Gets it over to So, and he's a little late getting over. And Suzuki beats it out for an infield hit. That's 17 straight now for him. And, boy, this is eerily familiar to the way things started in Anaheim a few weeks ago.
I mean, I know Ichiro is a fast player. There's no question about that. But that's a play that's got to be made. The throw from Cantu left behind Jay So. And you're right, Dave. That play in California when Gary Matthews had a similarly hit ball to the right side, and So was late covering the bag.
Looking at the replay, though, So got off the mound right when he was supposed to. I think you're right. It was the throw. The throw was just behind him, and it slowed him down. First pitch on its way to Jose Vidro is low for a ball. If it didn't slow him down, probably would have beat him by a split second. But by having to reach back and hesitate just for the moment, Suzuki with great speed able to leg it out. Now the pitch to Vidro, and the 1-0 is a little bit, gets on the outside corner in the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Vidro, a .306 hitter. He's a switch hitter. Couple of home runs, 12 runs batted in. Hits just under 300 from the left side, but both his home runs are from that side of the plate. As a throw to first, and Suzuki back in. So Vidro bats from the left side, right in the middle of the batter's box as So shakes off the first pitch selection. Now comes ready. Here's the pitch. Swinging a drive toward left center field, and this one on the way to the gap, and Crawford can't get it. It one-hops the wall. Suzuki on his way to third. They're going to hold him up there. It'll be a double for Jose Vidro, and the Mariners have runners at second and third with nobody out here in the top of the first inning.
Vidro's been one of the hotter hitters and relegated to designated hitting duties, but Vidro, who is leading all designated hitters in hits. I would not have predicted that.
Right fielder number 6, Jose Guillen.
So the Mariners with runners at second and third, nobody out. Jose Guillen the batter. Guillen, a .282 hitter, 5 home runs so far this season. He's knocked in 24. He's got a big-time RBI situation right here. Jay So in 45 innings plus now has allowed 86 base runners. Wow.
That's a lot out of the stretch throughout a game.
Your whip, which is walks and hits per innings pitched, which most guys will tell you they want to keep around 1.5 or less. That's almost at 2. Here's a pitch that misses, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Jose Guillen. Bats from the right side. The infielder back all the way. They'll give up a run to get an out, trying to avoid what could be a big inning. The 1-0. Outside corner call the strike, and the count 1 ball 1 strike. Good spot right there by Jay So. Rays wearing their alternate green tops today with the home white pants. The Mariners with their road grays, tops and bottoms today. Rays trying to salvage a win in the finale of this 3-game series. A 1-1 way outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Still time to get out here, too, if you're looking for something to do on this Thursday afternoon. It's a getaway day for the Rays. They will leave after the ball game and head to Chicago. Seattle continues their, 6,000-plus mile road trip. Here's the 2-1. Missed inside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Seattle will continue their trip that started in Cleveland. It's coming down here to St. Pete, and then we'll move on to Kansas City and then Los Angeles. 6,273 miles on this trip. Good thing they're not driving. Runners lead at second and third, the 3-1, and this one grounded to the right side. This will get a run in. Backing up on it is Wigginton, throws over to first, takes care of Guillen. But scoring is Ichiro, and it's 1-0 Seattle here in the first.
Nicely done by Guillen, not trying to do too much. Tapping it back towards the middle. It's almost assured to get the run in once it gets by the mound, and it did that perfectly. So Seattle scores first. But you know what, Dave? The Rays had scored first in each of the last 4 games and lost them all. So who knows? Maybe reversal of fortune.
Ultra productive. It got a run in, it got a runner over. So Ben Broussard will be the batter. Left-handed hitter, hitting .297 with 3 homers. The pitch, swinging a looping line drive. Jumping up is Harris, and he just couldn't get it. Coming in and scoring is Vidro, and Ben Broussard with a base hit to left center makes it 2-0 Seattle. Well, you could just see Brendan Harris trying to wait, and then time his jump, trying to get the ball just as it was going by him, and he just missed it. It just eluded him on that little busted bat flare to left field.
Yeah, Broussard, who had yet to have a plate appearance in this series, just lifted over they list 6'1" Harris. I don't know if he's that tall.
So the single by Broussard, his 8th run batted in. Seattle up 2-zip. First pitch to Richie Sexson is in there for strike 1. Sexson hitting only $177. The 0-1, swinging a high pop-up way up into the dome, right side. Jorge Cantu giving chase in foul territory. Now backs up on it and makes the catch, and there's 2 gone. It's funny, some people kind of mix up Ben Broussard and Richie Sexson.
Catcher number 2, Kenji Jojima.
They do?
Some people mix up Dolphin and Dolphin Stadium.
Some person, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Did he mix them up today?
No, remember back in the no-hit day? What was it? Who was throwing the no-hitter?
Oh, that's right. Sheehan Ming-Long?
He threw Rich Herrera under the bus.
Yeah. He said Sexson broke up, but it was Broussard.
Here's the pitch to Kenji Jojima, and it's in there for strike 1. 317 hitter with 6 homers, 16 runs batted in. I thought we made a trade, Harrison for Amando. Guess not.
We got both.
I guess Wes overruled, and there's a swing and a foul. This one back behind home plate. Navarro giving chase up against the screen, and what a grab by a fan. A fan who, cell phone in one hand, reached up and made the one-handed grab. Nicely done. Give that man an Acona glove.
He'll get one probably later.
He probably will.
He's not modest. This is his 15 minutes.
Yeah, what's up? I'm at the game. Yeah, hold on. There's a foul ball. Wait, I just caught it. So where are we going afterward? 0-2 the count. Now the pitch. Swing, and he popped him up foul again, this time on the third base side. Navarro might have a play over toward the Mariner dugout, and he can't get it. Got kind of caught up and lost where he might have been, and ball falls harmlessly. That'll probably be a no play, but that's a play he should have made.
I would think so. Now, there are a couple cameras that are hanging over the end there, but I think up against the screen is where he should have gone. Yeah, he reached out. That is a very much of a catchable ball. I don't know if he thought he was going to get tangled up over there or what, but well, that's a ball that's right there for the catching.
0-2 the count to Jojima. The pitch. Low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 runs in for Seattle so far here in the top of the first inning. Runner at first base is Ben Broussard. He's got an RBI single. The pitch on its way and a check swing foul. Back off of the screen. We'll do it again. Considering 2 runs on 3 hits, only 18 pitches so far for Jay So in this first inning. Cantu holding on Broussard over at first base. So from the first base side of the rubber comes ready. The 1-2. Swing, and he popped him up. Foul territory again. Cantu giving chase. So is Wigginton. Cantu turns around and dances with it and makes the catch. And that'll do it for the Mariners here in the first. But they get 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and 1 left. Done with half an inning here in St. Pete. Seattle 2 on the Rays. Coming up on the Rays Baseball Network.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty good job.
Baseball. It's about loyalty.
It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up.
Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
The Seattle Mariners, and he goes with a 2-0 lead today. He has gotten excellent run support as this season has gone along. And you look at his wins this year, although a couple of starts ago he won a 2-1 game against the Yankees. The Mariners scored 7 for him against the Padres, 7 for him against Kansas City, 14 runs for him against Texas, and he had 7 runs scored for him both in Boston and Detroit, and could not win either one of those games. But so he's had plenty of run support. He's been given a 2-0 lead already. B.J. Upton, who led off yesterday with a home run, starts it off for the Rays.
So Ramirez gets ready to go. The left-hander begins the wind and the pitch, and Upton tried to bunt his way on and pushed it foul down the first base side for strike 1. Ramirez has been a guy who's had his share of arm problems as well through his minor league days. And 01-02, he was recovering from Tommy John surgery. A couple of years ago, he had a damaged nerve behind his left shoulder blade that had to be repaired. So he has been dinged up at times in his career.
Suffers from asthma also.
Here's the 0-1. In there for a strike, and the count 1-1 strike to BJ. Two-0 Seattle. Rays trying to cut into it. The pitch. That one's a little bit low, I guess. And the count 1-2 strikes. Infield back everywhere. The 1-2 pitch. That one just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. The count to the Rays leadoff hitter. Scoring early has not been a major problem for the Rays. It's been scoring after the first inning the last couple of days. And they're chasing 2 today. Now the pitch on its way to Upton, and he swings and skies one towards center field. Going back on this one is Ichiro to the track, and now casually gets underneath it and makes the catch. 1 out here in the bottom of the first.
Senior Rays fans, join the Silver Rays, presented by St. Anthony's Healthcare, the exclusive seniors fan club of the Rays. Membership is just $25, includes tickets to your choice of 5 Rays games, a hat, t-shirt, Silver Rays newsletter, and invitations to exclusive seminars. To sign up, call 888-FAN-RAYS or log on to devilrays.com.
Here's Brendan Harris, the .310 hitter this year, with a couple of homers, 11 runs batted in. He's been in a little bit of a funk lately, though, over his last 14. First pitch low and away for ball 1. Harris moving up to the number 2 spot. The 1-0 pitch. Tried to backdoor him. Missed it. And the count 2 balls, no strikes. Talked a little bit about this with Joe Madden. Andy and I were talking about it yesterday. And I know sometimes you can kind of outthink yourself. And as this pitch is low and away, 3 balls, no strikes. And really can almost put yourself into the case where you start to really think some negative thoughts. But there is comfort zones. There are comfort zones in a guy's mind as far as where he bats. Here's a pitch that just misses, ball 4. So Brendan Harris walks on 4 pitches, and the Rays have the tying run coming to the plate in Carl Crawford. Crawford hitting at .295. 5 homers, 24 runs batted in. Just saw a shot of Mike Hargrove in the dugout. We talked about it yesterday. Hargrove came into the series wearing a goatee that was more salt and pepper, if you will. A lot of light hairs in that goatee on Mike Hargrove. As the pitch on its way to Crawford is low and inside. Saw Rick Riz, who is their longtime radio announcer, and I said, obviously it's not a organizational mandate then to shave off the goatee, because he still had his. He said Hargrove's was a total accident.
Yeah.
Said he was trying to trim it up, and he forgot that he didn't have the guard down, and ended up shaving an entire patch off, and then said, you know what, I might as well just take the whole thing off. Hate when that happens.
You only don't see a manager ever change anything after a win, but shows you the importance of superstitions. They won anyway again yesterday.
1 ball, 1 strike. Good lead at first by Brendan Harris as Ramirez comes set to pitch. Crawford takes low and inside, and the count 2-1. Crawford at .295 this year. Average has been slowly creeping back on up with 5 homers, 24 knocked in. Ramirez works from the first base side of the rubber as the lefty comes set. Infield at double play depth. Now the 2-1. Outside corner called a strike, and it's 2-2. Larry Poncino a little casual in his calls behind home plate as well. He went to the Tim McClellan school of taking your time to let people know.
There's no Enrico Palazzo.
Now the 2-2 to Carl Crawford. We'll have to wait. Throw over to first, and Ramirez back in. Ramirez 1-0 against the Rays in his career. He last faced the Rays just a few years ago, June 27th of 2003, when he was with the Atlanta Braves. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging a little flare into left center field. It's going to get down and maybe split him. It rolls toward the wall and will be knocked down by the left fielder Broussard, but not in time enough to stop Harris, who will score. Crawford around second to third. He will get there with an RBI triple, and it's 2-1.
5th triple of the year for Crawford, and not everybody in the league gets a triple to left center, but Crawford, one of those ones that absolutely gets 3 bases on that ball, and he reached out and down to get it and put it right in the open space. It was equidistant from Betancourt, the shortstop, Broussard, the left fielder, and Ichiro from center. Another Rays in position to tie it up.
So Ty Wigginton will be the batter for Crawford. Not only is that his 5th triple, his 25th run batted in. The pitch, and Wiggy foul tips it for strike 1. Ty's been struggling just a little bit. 239 on the season with 8 homers, 23 runs batted in. He's 0 for the series. He's 0 for 8.
By the way, Crawford's now hit in 8 consecutive games.
Now the pitch. Wigginton takes a bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Delman Young waits in the on deck area. So for what? This is the 5th straight game the Rays have scored in the first inning?
Yes, every game since Saturday.
2-1 Seattle. Here's the pitch to Wigginton, and he takes just inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now the count to him.
Again against Ramirez, he's given up a ton of hits this year and more walks than strikeouts. So he's a guy that one would think you should be able to get some runs against.
2-1 the count. The pitch inside just a little bit, and the count goes to 3-1. 34-24 in his big league career is Ramirez, with an ERA over 4. But moving over to the American League, and we'll see how that plays out. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. Snuck that pitch by him. count will go full to 3-2. Crawford walking off his lead over at third base. Corners come up a bit. The pitch. Wigginton takes inside. Ball 4. So that's the second walk of the inning for Ramirez. And Ramirez thought that pitch was close enough to call a strike. Mike Hargrove sitting on the edge of the dugout saying the same thing. Where was it? So 2 on with 1 out. And Delman Young the batter. Delman this season at .240, 6 homers, 22 knocked in. Now the pitch. Swing and a line drive down the right field line. This is going to get down for extra bases and score Crawford at least. He touches home. Here comes Wiggy. Rumbling around third. He's going to try and score. He is safe. It's a 2-run double for Delman Young. And the Rays have passed the Mariners. It's now 3-2.
Mike Hargrove's going to head to the mound here, not the pitching coach Rafael Chavez. It'll be Hargrove himself to come out. Early visit for a manager to talk with his starting pitcher, but he has seen a fly ball to the wall. He has seen 2 walks, a double, and a triple. And Delman Young going line to line and sending it to the right field corner, and that's got to feel very good for Delman to get a couple of runs bedded in as well to give him 24 for the year. That is his 7th double. And for the Rays to come back after trailing 2-0 right away in the first, that's got a little boost, I would think, to Jay So.
Sure does. Hopefully this offense realizes, though, that it's not one and done. There's still a few more at-bats coming up here. So Mike Hargrove kind of waited. He was known as the human rain delay when he played and took his time there on the mound for a while. And I think part of the reason why he might have wanted to tell Larry Poncino, hey, open up that strike zone a little bit there, lad.
Looks small for both sides so far.
Jorge Cantu the batter with Delman Young standing at second base. 3-2 Rays. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Left-hander Ramirez sets the pitch. Cantu takes low and inside for ball 1. Jorge in limited time this year, 8 games, has hit .250. It's 5 for 20. All singles. He's yet to knock in a run. But in a run-scoring situation here, the 1-0 takes it on the inside part of the plate, called a strike, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Tom Foley down the line a little bit at third, open to wave Delman Young around. The 1-1 pitch on its way to Cantu, and he drives this one toward right. Going back at it is Guillen. He's going to make the catch. Tagging at second and going to third is Delman Young. So it's a productive out by Jorge Cantu. He gets the runner over to third. Now it'll be up to Johnny Gomes to try to get him in with 2 outs.
Sure like seeing Cantu drive the ball a little bit, even if it's to the opposite field. In his great year of 05, and even in the second half of 04 when he had all those doubles, he was sending the balls to the gaps with power, and he just has not had that lightning in his hands, as his fellow players used to call it. But that one, though, really did jump off his bat and got Guillen back towards the track.
So Gomes stands at the plate, looking to add to the Rays' 3-2 lead here. Johnny this season also in limited playing time, this being only his 18th game of the season. Takes the pitch and grounds it towards short. Betancourt has it. Now the throw and plenty of time off the line, but Sexton came off the bag to tag out Gomes, and that'll do it for the Rays here in the first. But they get 3, and that's the good news, because after 1, it's the Rays 3, Seattle 2 on the Rays Baseball Network.
This
Baseball. It's about loyalty.
It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up.
Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
And visit Delta.com today, where you'll always find their lowest fares, guaranteed. So gave up a pair of runs in the first. Horacio Ramirez gave up 3 to the Rays. So's pitching with a 1-run lead as we head to inning number 2.
See how Jay handles that as the first pitch of the second inning is on its way, and it's over for strike 1. Betancourt this year, a .271 hitter, 4 homers. He's knocked in 18. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball left side. Diving stop by Wilson. Gets up, fires across in time. They get him nicely done. Josh Wilson continuing to play very well over there at the hot corner. Rings up the first out of the second inning, and that is also our Termidor defensive play of the game. What's America's top termite defense? It's Termidor. Visit him on the web at TermidorHome.com.
You know, Betancourt is a guy that with runners on base is a much better hitter. He's knocked in what would be classified as a game-winning run batted in. That used to be an official statistic, but not any longer. But he's done that in each of the first 2 games. His only hits of the series.
So 1 out, Jose Lopez the batter, and he takes the pitch for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Lopez at .241 this year, 5 homers, 17 knocked in. Pitch. A little bit outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Rays looking to try to salvage a win in the finale of this 3-game series. They won the first 3 of this so-called homestand in Orlando, and they haven't won since as this pitch fouled back and out of play. It's 2-1. I liked Orlando and everything, but I wanted to come back here and get back to home. But I don't know. Do we have to go back to Orlando to win again?
No, we don't have to.
Here's the 2-1. A little bit low and inside. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Maybe we'll go to Chicago to get some wins, too.
That'd be nice. And some sausage, and some beef, some pizza.
And some Ozzie Guillen, which is never boring.
Let's make sure we are on delay. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and this one is driven in the left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Over to go get it is Upton. Taking the turn at first is Lopez, but he'll stay right there with the 1-out single to center field.
That matchup tomorrow, to me, is a great one. You got Mark Burley, who had the no-hitter earlier this year, and the Rays ace this year, James Shields, going. First pitch is 8:11 tomorrow Eastern time in Chicago.
7:11 local time because of a deal they have with the convenience store.
That's a great sponsorship, I think. I like that. Good thinking there.
1 out with a runner at first base. Willie Bloomquist hitting .097. He's not even on the interstate. Takes a pitch low and away for ball 1. No homers, couple of runs batted in. He is I guess you could describe him as being a super Ute. Joe Pesci would, especially when he was younger. Here's the 1-0. A little bit outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Bloomquist, a guy who can play several different positions. Today, playing third base, but he can play all the outfield positions. And I think he's also played a little second base and shortstop, too.
5 different positions this year for Bloomquist, and probably more by the time the season ends. And he was hitting really well last year, especially when the Rays visited town twice in Seattle. But as you mentioned, this year, just 3 for 31. To begin the year. But one of the more popular players on the Mariners, he is a Washingtonian. So too is Ellison, Jason Ellison, who they got from the Giants.
Their high school teammates.
That's right.
Runner at first, infield at double play depth as So comes set. Now the pitch. Inside, I guess. 2 balls, no strikes. Rays trying to hold on to a 1-run lead here. They scored 3 times on just 2 hits in the first inning. Took advantage of a couple of walks. They both came around and scored. Here's a pitch that's outside, ball 4. So you walk the number 9 hitter, and that's never good news. And it's even worse when you know that Ichiro's coming up as the leadoff hitter.
Boy, that's a bad sign. To walk the number 9 man, a guy hitting .097. Getting Lopez into scoring position, and now you got the hottest hitter the Mariners have.
Just asking for trouble. So runners lead at first and second. Ichiro getting set up in the left-handed hitter's batter's box. He legged out an infield hit his first time and scored the first run of the game. So Jay So looking around. He's got to remember they got to force at any square base right here with 1 out. Navarro threw a long set of signs. Here's the first pitch to Ichiro. And he takes on the outside corner, called a strike.
What kind of bat control does Ichiro have? Well, he is yet to hit into a double play. Now, he's awfully fast, too, and it always seems like he's running out of the box as he hits it. But he does not hit into many twin killings.
Rays are looking to turn 2. Now the 0-1. Takes a little bit low. It was over, but low in the count now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ichiro Suzuki. Andy and I were talking about this before the ball game. He's on his way to 3,000 professional hits. We'll probably get it sometime next year. 1,300 in the big leagues here in the major leagues, and a little over 1,200 while he was in Japan.
Makes you wonder how many in the U.S. he could end up. I mean, there's a shot he could get 3,000 just in the U.S. if he stays long enough.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch. Swing and a foul tip. And the count 1-2.
And that would end up putting him over 4,000 for the U.S. and Japan. So, I mean, he could get in some rather rarefied air there.
Season high 17-game hitting streak right now for Ichiro Suzuki. Runners lead at first and second. Here's the 1-2. A swing and a hard hit ball into right field. That's a base hit. Lopez a little short coming off second. Here's the throw from Delman Young. It's a good one, and he got him. Delman Young guns down Jose Lopez, trying to score from second on the single by Ichiro. And there's 2 gone. Moving over to third on the play was Bloomquist. But that was a gun by Young, and it wasn't even close.
I got to be honest, I don't know what Carlos Garcia at third base was thinking, because that ball was not into deep right. Young's got one of the best arms of a right fielder in baseball, and Lopez didn't even get that great a jump off second base there.
It all was adding up to an out at the plate, and it did. But runners are at the corners right now with 2 outs, so Jay-So gets picked up by his defense there, and now let's see if he can pick up his defense by getting Jose Vidro. Vidro with a double his first time. Still 3-2 the pitch. Inside, it's off the glove of Navarro, and he'll go back to the screen, and coming in and scoring is Bloomquist. Moving to second is Ichiro. It's 3-3. Wow. That one might be a pass ball. It was not a real bad-looking pitch. That's a pass ball. That's just, that's not good. So on the pass ball, the Mariners tied after a great defensive throw and a play by Delman Young. They get a run that way. Here's the 1-0. And it's inside. 2 balls, no strikes. And on top of it, not only did it tie it, but now it moves the go-ahead run into scoring position.
And a guy that would score on most singles to the outfield, except to maybe Young.
Two 2-0 the count. Ichiro walking off his lead at second. The pitch. Swinging a foul on a play. This one 2 balls, 1 strike. 3 runs on 5 hits already for Seattle. We're only in the second inning. And the pitch count starting to creep up just a little bit on Jay-So as well. It's at 37. One final right now in the American League. Detroit beat the Angels 12-0 in Motown today. That Lions offense finally got something going against the old Rams.
They reassembled the old Rams for that game.
Here's the 2-1. Missed inside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Jeremy Bonderman, the beneficiary of all the runs. Now 3-0 as Gary Sheffield hit his 9th. Carlos Guillen with a couple. He now has 6. Irvin Santana suffered a loss. He drops to 3-6.
Tigers moving into first place yesterday in the American League Central.
3-1 pitch. Swinging a chopper foul up the first base side.
And the Angels, with their loss, open the door for these Mariners to get to within 3.5 games of them in the AL West.
3-2 the count. 2 outs, runner at second base. We're in the top of the second inning already. 3-3 our score between the Rays and the Mariners. Now Jay-So sets the pitch. Swinging a ground ball right side. Reaching forward, Wigginton. He flags it in short right and throws him out. Nice play. Ty Wigginton showing some range to his left to flag that one down and keep it a tie ball game. So Bedro grounds out, and the Mariners are done here in the second. They pick up another run, though. And at the end of an inning and a half, we're tied at 3 on the Rays Baseball Network.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever.
It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
At Tropicana Field, you're a winner. Log on to CaneStrikeout.com for the coupon and bring it to any Cane's location. You'll receive a coupon for a free Papa John's pizza. Shop Cane's Furniture today. An unearned run in the top of the inning has tied the game. It's a 3-3 score.
Deanna Navarro will lead things off against Horacio Ramirez, and the first pitch is in there for strike one. Navarro scuffling with the bat at $184. Still looking for his first home run. He does have 6 runs batted in. The 0-1 pitch, driven foul. Look out. This one into the crowd in a hurry. And the count quickly 0-2. By the way, just to let you know that Ray's cleanup hitter today is Ty Wigginton, and our cleanup hitter is our power hitter of the game. It's brought to you by Progress Energy, people, performance, excellence. The 0-2 up and in, 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's been a tough go for Deanna Navarro. It started in the middle part of March when he pulled the hamstring. So here's a swing and a looping line drive toward left center field, but right there is Ichiro to run it down. That ball hung up on him, and Ichiro able to run it down, and there's one out here in the second.
Just a beautiful catch, and the only way he makes that catch is if he gets a good jump on the baseball. I know he's got speed to close on the ball, but you got to almost be moving towards left center as that ball is being hit. And I mean, he called that thing pulling up at the end. I thought that was easily off the bat Dave going to drop in, but it wasn't even close.
Covers a lot of ground out there. There is no question about it.
Fun to watch, except when it's against the Rays.
Josh Wilson, the batter. The first pitch to him is a floater. Missed upstairs for ball 1. But for Navi, it's been a case where got dinged up in spring training. And I think it even goes a little bit before that. The 1-0 pitch. Outside, there were some whispers around some people that I wouldn't say within the organization, but some people who have been watching this team and thought he didn't exactly come to camp in the greatest of shape. That probably attributed to him getting dinged up as that pitch is in there. 2 balls, 1 strike now. The count to Josh Wilson. Spring training, as here's the pitch. It's high and outside. Spring training is no longer the time to get into shape. Maybe it was the case back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, into the 70s when guys had to have other jobs during the offseason to make ends meet. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and this one is roped in the left field. That's a base hit. Over to go get it is Broussard. Wilson takes a big turn at first, but he's going to stay right there as the throw was offline, but better safe than sorry right there by Josh Wilson.
Wilson now with a base hit today and another hit yesterday. He's got 6 hits since joining the Rays. He had 3 in his career when the Rays picked him up.
Green's the thing for him. He likes green. just going back to that, I mean, these guys now are making a heck of a lot more money, and you got to come to spring training nowadays ready to play.
Ready to go. Especially, I mean, a player like Navarro who's vital to this team. He's the catcher.
DJ up to the batter. The first pitch to him grounded to short. Betancourt has it, flips to Lopez out over the first. Just in time. A double play. Goes 6-4-3, and that'll do it for the Rays. Here in the second, done with 2, tied at 3 on the Rays Baseball Network.
This season, the
Baseball. It's about loyalty.
It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up.
Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Three hits, no errors to this point for the Rays as we get ready to go in the third. Today's game brought to you in part by your Southern Chevy dealers. Test drive an all-new Chevy Silverado, Motor Trend's truck of the year. We go to the third in this 3-3 game, and here's Andy.
Thank you, David. Big guns coming up for Seattle here as we start this third inning. And the first ball swinging. Guillen sends a one-hopper backhanded by Harris at short, and he straightens and throws him out. Not a routine play at all by Brendan Harris. Line drive that landed in the dirt, only about a step or two in front of him. And that ball shot over to his right. He stabbed it out of the air backhand style and got his man by plenty. One out in the third. And we'll bring up Ben Broussard.
We talked about this a couple of times already in this series and even in this homestand when Ty Wigginton let a couple balls like that kind of sneak by him. And I think Brendan Harris had a play like that. Those are one of those where, again, there's no in between. You either make it or you don't.
The line in the pitch by Soto. Ben Broussard is a strike over the outside 0-1.
All the smart guys out there are going, well, that's the way every play is. You either make it or you don't, but
there's a slow breaking ball on that, strike 2 over the outside of Broussard, 0-2. But what you're talking about is, I mean, you can play a ball where you increase your chances to make the play by getting in front of it and knocking it down. If you stab out of the air, then you either get it or it's by you. 2 strikes to count here to Broussard. So's pitch, fastball stays upstairs, and 1 ball 2 strikes. Broussard had a broken bad looping base hit to left to drive in a run in the first inning. Mariners had a 2-0 lead. Rays got 3 in the first, and then Seattle 1 in the second to tie. There's a swing at a little ground ball along first. It's fouled. And 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count here to Broussard, a former Cleveland Indian, hitting .297 with the Mariners, 3 homers and 7 batted in. From the windup, So pitches, and a swing at a ground ball right back through the middle on a base that might have gone through So's legs. A single for Broussard after being behind 0-2, and it'll send up Richie Sexson.
Hey, if you can't make it to the ballpark, why not visit one of the many parks and preserves in and around St. Petersburg, Clearwater? From unspoiled barrier islands to abundant wildlife, it's truly a natural wonder. Find out more. Visit floridasbeach.com.
Richie Sexson fouled to Cantu at first, his only time up. So sets and deals, driven way up into the air on the first base side. Foul ground. Cantu coming over. Navarro as well near the dugout, and it's onto the dugout roof. And the count 0-1 here to Sexson, who hits a lot of major league fly balls and pop-ups.
He does. He could test the limits of this roof.
Yes, he could. I think it really take something for a guy that tall and lean and long. I mean, he's got really long arms, long upper torso to be able to generate that kind of speed. I mean, he's got to be a strong guy to be able to whip the bat through the zone, because the bat's got a long way to go with his swing. And the 0-1 is taken low and outside, 1-1. I would think sometimes he'd have to start earlier than other hitters because of that long swing he has, and that's why he has so many strikeouts every year. The 1-1 pitch grounded to third. Wilson has it off his glove, taken by Harris at short. He'll throw to first, not in time, and Sexton beats it out, and 2-1 out for the Mariners.
Well, that might be an E5 again, trying to play it off to his side a little bit. When you play it off to the side, sometimes you lose vision. You lose the sight of the baseball for the split second between the time it goes by your eyesight and to the glove. And if you think that doesn't make much of a difference, it does. Nice hustle play by Brendan Harris on a follow-up, and made it awful close there at first, but Sexton able to just barely beat it. That's an error for Wilson.
And that is a ball that off the bat you're thinking there's a double play to get the Rays out of the inning, but instead it's an E5. 2-1 out. Kenji Jojima looks at ball one outside, 1-0.
Rays have had kind of a tough day. Couple of days here grabbing the baseball. They have committed a bunch of errors in the past week.
They are leading the league in errors. Not a category you want to lead the league in. The 1-0 pitch. Swing, line drive up the middle, base hit to center field. To third base is Broussard being waved home. Here comes Upton's throw, and it's way up the third base line. Scoring on the play is Broussard. Jojima with an RBI single. It's 4-3 Seattle.
Well, heard one guy tell me one time that base runners lead the runs. Didn't necessarily know exactly what it meant, but bottom line is the more base runners you get, you increase your chances of scoring some runs, and the Mariners have had a boatload of base runners today. That's their fourth run scored. They've had one thrown out at the plate, and Jim Hickey coming out to talk to Jay So, who has given up 7 hits already in this ball game. We're only in the top of the third.
Plus a walk and a runner reaching on an error. Jojima with a hit. We are getting an in-house feed today, television-wise, from NHK, which is national television in Japan. This game being broadcast live in Japan. So, Dave, I thought I'd figure out exactly what time it is in Japan. Right now, it's just before 4 o'clock here on the East Coast. It is just before 5 o'clock tomorrow morning in Japan. So, people, many of them, I would think, still asleep. Others maybe just getting up
to listen. No, they're listening to the Seattle call, I guess, from what I understand.
Rick Riz and company. But they're already tomorrow. They're closer to the weekend.
So if we called them up and got the lotto numbers for today, would that help?
Well, I hope they don't tell us what happens. I want to be surprised. Here's Yuniesky Betancourt swinging, grounding a double play ball to short. Harris to second. That's one. Wiggin into first. They turn the double play. Side retired. Double play earlier would have prevented a run, but in this case, the Rays are happy to get out of the inning on 1 pitch. The Mariners leave a runner. They also get a run on 2 hits. And at the end, and by the way, that is our 5th.
Baseball. It's about loyalty.
It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up.
Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Mariners, and we'll tell you about him after this. We'll take 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the Rays Baseball Network.
You're listening to 1250 Wins, WHNZ Tampa Bay. Official home plate of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Horacio Ramirez is out of the ball game. We don't know why. We'll get it for you when we find out. But it could be, looks to me like it's more of an injury situation because they're giving Sean White an awful long time to get warmed up. So Sean White, so far this season, 1-0 with a 4.03 ERA, is coming on in place of Ramirez, who went just 2 innings today. White threw 3 2/3 scoreless on the 20th against San Diego. 3 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, walked 1, struck out 4. That was a career high for him. Over the last couple of games, he's allowed 3 hits, no runs in 8 innings. It's lowered his ERA from a little better than 6.28 to 4.03. So that situation has helped him out, and just have to see how this injury situation for the Mariners affects Horacio Ramirez. I thought I just saw on the big screen, they just showed Urban Meyer. He's here today.
He's here?
I'm surprised Urban Meyer was able to get in here without Rudy tracking him down.
There he goes.
Rudy's going to go look for him now. Mr. Coach Meyer, you're awesome.
You remember the time when you guys won the national title?
Remember the time when you were coach at Utah? And you came to Florida?
That was cool.
That was cool.
Baseball. It's about loyalty.
It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up.
Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Ramirez, 2 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs earned, 2 walks, no strikeouts. And we'll get a no decision today. The pitch is too low to Harris to start off the inning, and it's 1-0. Rays are trailing again, 4-3. As we start this bottom of the 3rd inning. And a fastball low and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Sean White, a former Atlanta Brave, just like Ramirez. Here's a line drive left field that drops in for the base hit. Towards the gap and cut off by Broussard. Brendan Harris has his first hit in 4 games. Brendan had not recorded a base hit since the 2nd game against the Florida Marlins. And Harris, who had not gone hitless in back-to-back games coming into the weekend, had gone 3 games without getting a base hit. So the Rays get a leadoff base runner in the 3rd, and up comes Carl Crawford. And Crawford tripled home run and later scored one himself. The stretch by White and the pitch to Crawford, and he's low, 1-0. Jojima now goes out again. Dave, we were talking about this game being played in broadcast live in Japan today. I thought you'd find it interesting to know. Of course, it's 4 o'clock here. It's 5 o'clock tomorrow morning in Japan. It's 6 o'clock tomorrow morning in Sydney right now.
Really?
In Australia. It's 11 o'clock at night in Eastern Europe. In Britain, it's 9 o'clock tonight. Something about that just fascinates me. I don't know what that is. Why that is.
I'd get off that webpage, or else that's all you'll be talking about.
Here's Carl Crawford lining foul off the 3rd base side, and this one goes out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I can handle you talking about food, but I don't know about time situations.
It's 10 o'clock this morning in Hawaii. It's 9 o'clock this morning in Samoa.
Wow.
1-1 to count here to Crawford. So
no wonder I feel tired.
So if they're listening, the pitch is low on its side. 2 balls, 1 strike. We're very big in Samoa. In the Azores, it's okay. I'll stop.
Huh?
Would you like to know what it is in Bangladesh?
Not really.
It's 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. 2 balls, 1 strike to count here to Crawford. And the pitch that just missed on the inside. It's 3 balls, 1 strike.
Only way again I'd really care would be is if they knew the lotto numbers for today here. Then I'd call them up and go on a website out there and get them and then make a few bucks.
3 a.m. in Thailand. Pitch is driven to the air down the left field line. Chasing after Broussard into foul territory. He's not going to get there. and takes a bounce. It goes up into the stands over the sidewall. Full count 3-2. Here to Carl Crawford.
Rays trying to avoid going 10 games under break even.
I just got to get this one thing off my chest. I understand how it works where, it's ahead or behind an hour. But how does it work on the half hour? How in India is it 1:35 a.m. tomorrow? How's the half hour work? Runner goes, pitches low, ball 4. The Rays get 2 on, nobody out. You really want me to stop talking about that, don't you?
I think what happened was, didn't you read about it, that they've had a power outage in India for a while, so their clock stopped.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Same thing in Darwin, wherever that is. And Marquesas. Time called as Jojima goes to the mound. But anyway, it's a little after 5 in the morning in Japan, and Japanese folks are watching this game today. And if you've noticed, Dave, on the television feed we've been getting, they've been getting lots of shots of Ichiro and Jojima, even when they're not really doing anything at that moment. And there's also fine home plate, a lot of Japanese advertising today. It's the only television this game today. Ty Wigginton awaiting on the first pitch from White, and that's rolled fair by third baseman Bloomquist down the left field line. Here comes Harrison to score. Crawford to third and being held, and Wigginton has an RBI double to tie it up at 4.
Well, the Mariners have been playing pepper with that left field line a couple of times in this series, and now Wigginton did right there. Just barely fair down that left field line. Harris scoring rather easily. I think Tom Foley, noting that there are nobody out and you've got some of the big hitters still coming up, Delman Young being one of them, has been swinging a fairly hot bat. He decided to probably be a little cautious in sending Carl Crawford, but I think I might have been a little more adventurous, because it would have taken 2 perfect throws to get Crawford. That would have been tough to do.
Second and third, nobody out. Delman Young takes a breaking ball low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Young with a 2-run double on the first pitch that he saw in the first inning. Got as far as third base with 2 out, but did not score. 4-4 tie. We're in the third inning, and the 1-0 pitch to Young. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball, and he tried to pull that outside breaking ball. That's hard to do, and it's 1-1. He saw that pitch up around his eyes when it left the hands of Sean White, and was thinking Cabango. 1-1 the count here to Young with Cantu on deck. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball blown by him there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So 2 swings and misses here by Delman. Has him behind 1 ball, 2 strikes. Crawford from third, Wigginton from second. The infield back. The 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss at a curve in the dirt for strike 3. Another great at bat by Delman. First strikeout for Sean White, and 1 away in the Rays' third.
Steady diet of breaking pitches, and Delman Young not getting the job done in that particular instance. So now let's see if Jorge Cantu can pick him up.
Well, as we were saying, Jorge still does not have a run batted in this year. Here is a golden opportunity to change that 0. The first one, breaking ball, low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Nice job by Jorge laying off. Sometimes, again, when you haven't been in the lineup a lot like Jorge hasn't, a little jumpy at the plate, but Sean White tried to bounce in a curveball, see if he'd chase, and Jorge did a nice job of picking up right away and laying off it.
1-0. The infield still back except the corners. And the pitch, breaking ball, dropped in for a strike, and that's 4 out of the last 5 pitches that are that big overhand curveball, and that's the only one right there to be called a strike. And it evens it out at 1-1. Out of the stretch, White pushes off. Breaking ball lifted towards right. This will be deep enough. Back towards the warning track goes Jose Guillen. Onto the track to make the catch. Tagging third and heading home is Crawford. He will score as Wigginton gets to third. The first RBI of the year by Cantu gives the Rays a 5-4 lead.
There's a man who had 117 runs batted in a couple of seasons ago. When we saw him during the spring, when at that particular time in 05, he wasn't even guaranteed a spot on the roster yet, let alone being a starting second baseman. They had Roberto Alomar there for a little while, and as you said, we watched him a couple of times just take him out of Progress Energy Park to right field, which is not an easy task for a left-handed hitter to do. He was doing it as a right-handed hitter, and we said, wow, this guy might have something here. And that's what we saw from Jorge Cantu during the spring of 05, what we saw here today.
Johnny Gomes grounds one sharply, foul along third. It's 0-1.
You always say, and whether or not it's true or not, but they usually say when right-handed hitters start driving the ball a little bit toward the gap in right center and into right field, that they're starting to see the ball better. They're starting to make better contact. And that could be a good sign for Jorge Cantu.
0-1 the count here to Gomes. White's pitch, fastball, strike two over the outside, 0-2. And, you know, I mean, Cantu knows that his time may be limited with this team. Makanori Iwamura is getting closer and closer to coming back. Somebody's going to have to go. It might be Jorge Cantu. 0-2 the count here to Gomes. And the pitch low and away with a breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The thing about that is it might not be, you know, and again, we're not trying to read into anything here, but with Aki coming back, that was the roster spot that he took. It could also be a spot, though, too, where there's a lot of scouts that are following these teams around nowadays. And Jorge Cantu could show that he still can play at the big league level. There might be another team that would say, we want him.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Gomes. Breaking ball rolled along third and foul. It remains 1-2. The Mets have been needing a second baseman. They've had Demian Easley playing there, but with Jose Valentin hurt, one could see a fit there, but I don't know what the Mets have to offer back.
Well, you're not going to give up Jorge Cantu for a bag of baseballs.
That's right.
A couple of helmets. I mean, you're looking for something in return. There's no question about that.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Gomes. Wigginton leading at third in the pitch, low and away. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gomes only has 4 runs batted in for the moment. Trying to change that. He grounded to short on the first pitch his first time. Rays had a leadoff single by Harris, a walk by Crawford, an RBI double by Wigginton, and a 1-out sac fly by Cantu to give the Rays a 5-4 lead. And White pitches to Gomes, low and away with a slider, and it's a full count 3-2. He's got that hard slider. He's a Washingtonian as well. Sean White from Pullman, Washington. Went to Mercer Island High School in the Seattle area. Here's the 3-2 delivery, low and away, ball 4. So he jumped ahead of Gomes and then lets him get away, and that's a heck of a save, by the way, for Kenji Joljima, the catcher, to save a run. First and third with 2 out, and up steps Deanna Navarro.
Today's game brought to you in part by Crown Auto Dealerships. Crown is your neighborhood automotive dealer for 40 years on US 19 in St. Pete and Clearwater, or just a click away at crowncars.com.
First and third, 2 down, 5-4 Rays, bottom of the third inning. Deanna Navarro fly to center his only time up, and a nice long running catch by Ichiro. Navarro struggling at the plate, and the pitch way outside 1-0. He's 2 for his last 29 now. Switcher to batting left-handed, and time called. Rafael Chavez, the the pitching coach, is going to go to the mound to talk things over here with Sean White. Navarro got his average as high as 241. It looked like things were going to start turning around for him as he felt better physically and got into better shape. That was at the end of April. Since then, he's sitting around 120. And this is some big-time slump for Navarro. And this is a guy who's always hit pretty well throughout his career and had some decent pop in the bat. One thing about Navarro is that he has a share of extra base hits this year. He has 8 doubles, but he is yet to go deep. Chavez back to the dugout on the third base side. Rays lead by a run with a chance to open it up if Navarro can find a gap. Wigginton from third leading in foul territory, and Gomes away from first with Sexton holding him on. 1 ball and no strikes here to Navarro. Stockily built left-handed batter. The pitch very high, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. You normally see a fastball right after a pitching coach goes to the mound, but he threw a changeup that was up and out of the strike zone. I wonder what that tells us about White, if he's not feeling much about his command right now. 2-0. Down the hill he comes, low and inside with a slider, and it's 3 balls, no strikes.
And Kenji Joljima has been bouncing around a lot back there behind home plate, trying to keep the ball in front of him.
Sean White is making life tough for Joljima, who's bailing out his pitcher. It's 3-0 to Navarro. Will have the take sign, I would think, on 3-0. Unless it's just perfect. The right-hander ready, kicks, pitches, taken. And that's a strike over the outside corner. Got to wait for Mr. Poncino a little bit to make sure what he is going to call.
He left today's game with tightness in his left shoulder.
3-1 the count here to Navarro. And a step off, look to third, fake to first, nothing going on. Tightness in the left shoulder of Horacio Ramirez. You might have heard that as why he left the game. He's had injury problems throughout the years. Down the hill 3-1 here to Navarro. Swing line drive back towards the middle and right through the reach of Betancourt into left center. Wigginton scores and up to second Gomes. Navarro delivers and it's 6-4 Rays.
Well, that one kind of froze Betancourt for a moment. Ball was hit rather sharply, but Betancourt didn't get a great break on it, and then finally kind of a half dive toward it as the ball was going in toward left center field. So Navarro finally coming up with a ribby. That's his 7th of the season, and the Rays have put a 3-spot back on the board here in the third to take a 6-4 lead.
So the Rays extending their lead, and now Josh Wilson, the 8th man to bat in the inning, takes the first pitch right down the middle for a called strike. It is 0-1. Wilson singled sharply to left his only time up. The stretch in the pitch. Swinging a chopper back towards the middle. And right through into center, a base hit. Rounding third on his way home is Gomes. Ichiro has no throw. RBI single for Wilson. It just sneaked through the infield. And the Rays lead it 7-4.
Well, if you can sneak it by Jose Lopez and Yuniesky Betancourt, you're sneaking it by two of the better guys up the middle. Lopez with some of the better range in the American League at second base. Got back behind the bag, but just could not flag it. And scoring easily was Gomes. Navarro stops at second.
Bisecting the infield. They went right over the bag at second. 2 on and 2 out. The 9th man to come up in the inning is the top of the order, B.J. Upton, who takes inside 1 ball, no strikes. Rays have been looking for a couple of crooked numbers lately. They found them. 3 in the first, 4 in the third to overtake the Mariners. But we are still very early. Ichiro shades Upton towards right center field. And the pitch, ground ball that hits Upton in the leg, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And I think Sean White's going to be one of those that's going to have to take one for the team, because you're on your second pitcher here in the third inning already. Last thing you want to do is be on your third and fourth pitchers by the 4th or 5th innings.
Although their bullpen has gotten much of this series off. Their starters have done a nice job. So their bullpen's in all right shape. The pitch grounded sharply into center field, base hit. Navarro rounds third, heads for home. Ichiro throws for third. Wilson trying to advance, safe there. Up to second is Upton, and it's 8-4 Rays.
A little bit of a break there, Andy, because as Wilson was racing to third base, Ichiro doesn't hesitate at all to go to third with the throw. And if Wilson is tagged out before he gets at third base, before Navarro gets to the plate, that run would not have counted. But the throw went up the line just a little bit, and after Bloomquist was able to go get it, Wilson was able to slide in safely. So it's a single RBI, and he moves to second on the throw.
Now, looking at the Mariners bullpen, they've got no choice. They got to get somebody up, and they do get the bullpen going now as Brendan Harris, who started this inning with a base hit, takes low 1-0. Jason Davis, the right-hander, starts to throw now for Seattle down the left field line. 5 runs in the inning for the Rays. And second and third, the 1-0 pitch. He's low. It's 2 balls, no strikes. And you know the Rays are right on him if they're hitting all these balls directly back up the middle, which the last 2 hitters have done.
Number 50, Jason Davis.
2-0 here to Harris, with Wilson at third and Upton at second. Now the pitch. He is low. It is 3-0, and then Carl Crawford waiting on deck. So 3-0 and time called. Willie Bloomquist, the third baseman, goes in to talk to Sean White. A couple of Washingtonians having a meeting behind the mound. This is the way the Rays were swinging the bat at Disney against the Texas Rangers. 3-0 here to Harris. On the first base side of the rubber, the right-hander ready. And delivers. Taken way outside ball four. Jojima saved another run by reaching out to get it. Walk loads the bases. Carl Crawford coming up. And we'll see about Hargrove's decision from the dugout as Crawford stopped on his way to the plate. I think he was looking over to see if Hargrove was going to come out also, but he's not. And Crawford will bat with the bases loaded and 2 down. 5-6 straight batters have reached for the Rays. And that's 4 of the 5 runs scoring with 2 outs of the inning, if you count the sac fly being one of those.
You should.
That's with 2 outs. Made the second out.
And the run didn't score until after he caught it.
That's true. You are correct, sir.
Thank you.
Wilson at third, Upton at second, Harris at first. The 10th man to bat of the inning. Actually, the 11th man to bat of the inning is Carl Crawford as White winds and throws in the dirt and blocked off the chest of Jojima. And it's 1-0.
40 pitches in this inning for Shaun White. That's a lot.
And not commanding many of those 40.
No. More balls than strikes.
1-0 to Crawford. Here it comes. Line drive into left field. Sinking. It lands a base hit. Scoring Wilson. Here comes Upton around third. Broussard's throw. Sneaks through, but way late. A 2-run single by Crawford. 10-4 Rays. And how much longer can Mike Hargrove stick with Shaun White?
He's got to go get him right now, I think. This is shaping up to be a little bit like that Saturday afternoon in the Bronx where Jay So was dinged up a little bit early, but the Rays bats came alive, and I think on that particular day, scored 19 runs. They're at 10 already, and we're in the third. Mike Hargrove, he's going to make that walk out to the mound, and it's going to be a very short stint for Shaun White.
2/3 of an inning for Shaun White, and so far 7 runs. So the Mariners will dip into their bullpen and bring out the right-hander Jason Davis.
This pitching change brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Come in this month, and with the purchase of a Jiffy Lube signature service oil change, get one free. See store for details. Jason Davis, long time.
Baseball. It's about loyalty.
It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up.
Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Early on this season, but he was acquired from Cleveland for the PTBNL. The player to be named later on May the 13th.
And he's trying to get the last out here as Wigginton swings at the first one and fouls it away into the lower deck to the right side, 0-1. Consider this, Dave. The Rays have scored 10 runs already. We're in the third inning. They scored 11 against Texas for the game. That's the most amount of runs they've scored this year. They scored 10 in one other game against the Yankees back in late April. But those are for the game. Here's a foul straight back, and it's now 0-2. So the Rays have a chance of their largest run output of the season today. And if nothing else, at least after scoring in the first inning, they didn't stop like in the other games. They've got plenty of cushion for Jay So. And it's up to him to get things together. The 0-2 pitch lifted towards right center field. Ichiro and Guillen come together in the alley. It is Guillen to get under it and snag it to retire the side, and the Rays settle for a monster inning. They score 7 runs, their largest inning of the year.
Baseball. It's about loyalty.
It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up.
Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Well, he's given up a run every inning. See if he can throw a 0 on the board and keep the momentum all for the Rays and maybe have a quick inning. Jose Lopez takes a ball 1 with a fastball inside 1-0. Lopez, Bloomquist, and Ichiro 8-9-1 as Jaso winds and delivers, and the changeup drops into the knees for a called strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Ever since we mentioned Urban Meyers here, Harrison Marquis hasn't stopped staring at him.
He's got stars in his eyes. Pitch is driven in the air to deep left center field. Upton ranging back towards the Warner check to the deepest part of the yard. It's off the wall, and Karam's all the way back towards center field. Lopez is flying to second base and being waved home from third. Here comes the throw by Harris, caught by Navarro. Out at home plate. 1 away in the 4th inning.
And third base coach Carlos Garcia is 0 for 2 today. I know you're down by 6 and maybe you're trying to get something started, but that's just dumb. That wasn't even close. Lopez was just coming over to third base when Harris took the relay, and he just got off a great throw from about maybe 15-20 feet onto the outfield grass. That's not a smart play by third base coach right there. It goes 8-6-2, and another base runner thrown out at the plate for the Mariners.
And both of them have been Jose Lopez. Now Bloomquist pops one up on the next pitch. Third baseman Josh Wilson is under it. Crosses into foul ground. Now back into fair territory to his left. Grabs it. 2 pitches, 2 out. Here in the Mariner 4th inning.
The hard way.
The very hard way.
Hey, by the way, kids, there's a kids club that is right for you. The Raymond's Rookies Club. Sign up and you'll receive Rays tickets, a membership card, some really cool prizes. Ask mom or dad to call 888-FAN-RAYS or show them how to log on to devilrays.com. Raymond's Rookies, the cool club just for kids.
Here's Ichiro, who is 2 for 2, and he takes outside 1-0.
Tim Corcoran beginning to play catch for the Rays down the right field line, and it's interesting that you would do something like this. I mean, Jaso is in line for the win if he can get through 5.
It's a fastball outside corner for a called strike 0-2, but a definite sign that the Rays are not liking what they're seeing from Jaso. 0-2.
Definitely don't want this one to get away from him. I think that's the most definite of the signs.
And the pitch low and away, 1 ball 2 strikes.
You let one of these games get away from you a year, that hurts. I think the Rays have already had a couple, 2 or 3 games like this get away from them. We're not even through May yet.
From the full windup, Jay So steps and throws 1-2. Sliced foul off third, and out of play it goes by plenty. 1-2 it remains. Without a doubt, the Rays have had some big leads get away this year. I don't think they care who it gets a win for, potentially. They just care about the team win. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So pitches. Swinging a fly ball, more like a pop-up. Out towards short and to shallow left, ranging Brendan Harris under it and waiting to make the catch. It ends up being a quick inning for Jay So. 1 hit, nobody left, 3.5 complete on a Thursday afternoon. It's the Rays 10 and the Mariners 4 of the Rays Radio Network.
Baseball. It's about loyalty.
It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up.
Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Bank. Remember, we met Melissa at the Sarasota Manatee County luncheon. So, Melissa, thanks for listening. We'll see you at the ballpark soon.
Here's ball 1 to Delman Young as we head to the last of the 4th inning. Jason Davis steps and throws. Line foul off first and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Delman Young, Jorge Cantu, Johnny Gomes do up. The Rays leading it 10-4. It's the largest lead the Rays have had in a long time.
Scary thing about this is, folks, Rays have never won a game by this much.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
2 balls, 1 strike. You look at the Rays records in games decided by
Rays have not won a game by more than 3 runs.
And the pitch swung on and foul tip to the plate. In games decided by 3 or more runs, they are 2-18, but those are both 3-run.
I believe so, yes.
Wins. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And this one bounced in. Full count now, 3-2. Let's take a look at some of these games that the Rays have won by those semi-sizable margins. I mean, they're not many at all. As you look down the sheet, we get a game by game. Here's a swing at 1 hopper to short to his left, fielding at Betancourt. Cuts behind the bag at second and throws to first for the out. 1 away.
Nice play there. Rays fans this season team up with the St. Petersburg Times, the local newspaper, one of the top 10 sports sections in the country. To subscribe, call 877 The Times or visit TampaBay.com. And I think the other daily in this area might be a little upset with us because I saw a sign for that newspaper and billboard for that newspaper, and they had like 3 kids on there. And I think 2 of the kids had a Bucks hat and a Lightning hat on, and the other guy had a Yankee hat on.
Oh, that's terrible.
Come on.
Here's ball 1
Come
to Cantu.
on.
That's brutal. Who is your team? 1-0 the count here to Cantu. And the pitch. Fastball is high. 2-0. The Rays won a 3-run game, 4-1. James Shields won it in Oakland on April the 27th. They won 11-8 at home against Texas behind Casey Fossum. A 3-run win is the largest margin of victory for the Rays this year. He's swinging a ground ball, base hit into left field. Off the bat of Jorge Cantu, has hit the ball well all 3 times. So a 1-out single to left will bring up Johnny Gomes.
I think that extends a hitting streak for Jorge Cantu as well. A modest hitting streak at that, but when you don't play all that much, that's now 5 straight games for Jorge Cantu in which he's had a hit.
And like you were saying, too, I love the way he's driving into the opposite field. This one, he was able to pull a fastball right through the hole. So that's 3 good at-bats today for Cantu. I'm early in the 4th inning. Rays are completing their 3rd trip through the order right now. Bottom part of it, 7th place hitter Johnny Gomes. Grounded to short, walked, and scored. And the pitch is taken up and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Rays lead 10-4. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1 out, Cantu at first, being held on by Richie Sexson. The Mariners are already on to their 3rd pitcher of the game. And the pitch way upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Horacio Ramirez left with tightness in his left shoulder. Sean White came on last inning, gave up 7 runs in 2/3 of an inning. 6 hits, couple of walks too. Gomes takes outside, 3 balls, no strikes. Well, we were thinking that Sean White might be out there for a little while to save the pen. Jason Davis will be out there for a little while, inheriting a 10-4 deficit in the middle innings. Gomes takes, that's a strike over the outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. He's the guy that's going to have to soak up the frames for Seattle and try to keep his team in the game. 3 balls, 1 strike to Gomes. And there is strike 2 over the outside. Full count, 3-2. That's a good take, though, for Gomes on 3-1. That pitch was a fastball that dotted the low outside portion. Not a whole lot he could probably do with that.
Looking for a particular pitch in a particular zone on 3-1, or at least you should be.
Cantu runs on 3-2, outside ball 4. The Rays have something cooking here in the 4th. 2-1 and 1 out for Deanna Navarro.
Interesting, too, that the Rays are running in that particular situation. You're up by 6 runs here in the 4th inning, and they were running on 3-2. And you know, I guess from one aspect of it, if you haven't followed the Rays all season long, you'd probably say, boy, that's I wouldn't say rubbing it in, but that's sure keeping the foot on the pedal. But at the same time, I think that's a smart move by Joe.
Here is called strike 1. And I have no problem at all with him running there. I'm just surprised that he ran with those particular players involved. Cantu not a fast runner, and Gomes a guy that strikes out a lot.
As the saying goes, if we'll stop scoring if you guys stop scoring.
You bet. The 0-1 is taken a little high. 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't care if it's in the 8th inning. I don't really have a hard time running.
In the 8th inning, if you're running with a 6th-run lead, you're going to get a baseball off your ear hole.
The 1-1 pitch to Navarro has popped up foul off third. Chasing after it is Willie Bloomquist. He's out of room. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. You did say ear hole, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. 1-2 the count here to Navarro with Josh Wilson on deck.
What do you think I am? Ozzie Guillen?
Navarro had an RBI single and a run scored his last time up. Here's Davis throwing. Line drive to right field towards the gap. This one gets down and all the way to the wall in right center. Here they come. Cantu scores. Rounding third, Gomes on his way home. Navarro trying for third, and the throw not in time. A 2-run triple for Deanna Navarro, and the Rays lead 12-4.
Well, you like seeing Deanna Navarro driving balls to the gap, and he did that there. And then you also like the fact that you can see him going and hustling in the third base. Looks like the hamstring's starting to finally come around for him as he legged out his first triple of the season. To go along with his 8 doubles, the Rays have now taken an 8-run lead, and the 12 runs are a season high for the Rays.
And the infield comes in with 1 out for Josh Wilson. And the pitch is taken low. 1 ball, no strikes.
And right now, James Shields and, or I should say, Casey Fossum, at least, and Scott Kazmir are both going, where was this the last few days? Even James Shields could say that, too.
Wilson looks at a fastball for strike 1 call over the outside corner, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. That's the first triple for Navarro since 2004 at AAA. That's his first major league triple.
Hit the baseball.
Strike 2 to Wilson, 1-2. Yeah, Navarro and triples don't tend to go together that often, so he gets a chance. Better believe he's going to try it. Here's ball 2 outside. 2-2 here to Wilson.
Triples and catchers usually are not one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
Although we did watch Didn't we watch Benji Molina stretch an inside the park home run into a triple last year?
He did. There's ball 3 low and away. Full count 3-2. Here to Wilson, the number 9 batter. And B.J. Upton on deck.
The outfielders collided, took a nap, finally went out and got the baseball, and Molina, with a head-first slide in the third, finally made it.
He barely got there, too. 3-2 to Wilson, grounded right to second. This will hold Navarro. Fielded by Lopez. He throws out Wilson, and that's 2 down in the Rays' 4th inning, and will send up B.J. Upton.
This season, when the Rays win, you win at Dunkin' Donuts. After every Rays win this season, stop into any participating Greater Tampa Bay area Dunkin' Donuts location the next day and tell them the Rays won and you get a free donut. When the Rays win, you win at Dunkin' Donuts. And it's been a while since the Rays won. I know our friend Tom down there outside the home clubhouse, he's been dying for some donuts.
B.J. Upton cuts and misses with a breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
He's trimmed down so much I thought he went out and bought a Bowflex.
He was aching for a win.
Yes. Donut.
Upton is 1 for 3 RBI single today. Davis pitches. Upton takes 2 low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Davis has a good live fastball. That one was at 95. He's been clocked as high as 98. One time, he had 100 miles an hour. That felt like he didn't have a whole lot of movement on that pitch. The 1-1 delivery, and that's a little upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One time, I mean, he said when he was younger that he used to just test to see what he could hit on the radar gun. It could hit 100 and the upper 90s. 2-1, the count of the pitch, half swing and a miss at a slider. And it's even 2 balls, 2 strikes. Navarro at third with 2 down. And he's got a couple of hits today. Already the most amount of runs in an entire game for the Rays. They lead Seattle 12-4. Davis pitches, low and away with a slider, and it's full count 3-2. And then Brendan Harris next. This is the 4th plate appearance for Upton. We are only in the 4th inning. And the pitch is outside. Had to make sure that Poncino, who stepped back there, wasn't going to ring him up. It was a close pitch, and it's ball 4. So 1st and 3rd for the Rays with 2 down. And Brendan Harris hits for the 3rd time in 2 innings. He had 2 at-bats last inning, singling and walking. He had also walked and scored in the 1st. Rays have gotten the line moving. The Rays have scored 12 runs without a home run. And that's been a rarity this year for the Rays. And a lot of runs on homers. First pitch to Harris, and that's a fastball strike. Across the thighs on the outside, it's 0-1. Corcoran no longer warming in the Rays bullpen. Tells you that So is probably going to come out and start the 5th. But Corcoran had been warming in the top of the inning. The 0-1 swung on and foul tip caught by Joljima, and quickly Davis jumps ahead of Harris. 0-2. So 2 strikes to the count here to the Rays shortstop, and Harris has played a very good defensive game to this point. Navarro leading at third base. Upton with speed leading from second. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. A upper 90s fastball. Fans Brendan Harris. The Rays are retired in the 4th inning, but they score 2 more on 2 hits, including a triple.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever.
It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
day more than any other day quite probably this year, because they have opened up a sizable lead over the Mariners. 12-4 Rays. As we head to the fifth inning, Jose Vitro, Jose Guillen, and Ben Broussard are the new batters. Jay Sill remains in the game. He's got to get through this inning to qualify for a win. He's not been particularly sharp. He's got a ton of run support. See if he can have a quick inning. As we go to the fifth, let's send it over now to Dave Wills.
Thank you very much, Andy. As Jay Sill ready to go, the first pitch, and it floats over but low for ball one. Vitro today has doubled. He has also grounded the second. He scored one of the 4 runs. The pitch is in there for a strike, and they count 1 ball, 1 strike. 12-11-1 so far for the Rays. As this pitch fouled off and out of play, it's 1-2. Frank Lover helping me out. Daughter Michelle, now that she's done with 6th grade, coming by to visit the booth.
Today is the end of the school year
for the Hillsborough County. Yeah. What a great day that was, wasn't it?
Oh, man.
Here's the 1-2 pitch now. That should be a national holiday. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He got him looking at a pitch that caught the outside corner. Took a little while for Larry Poncino to ring him up, but that is the first strikeout of the ball game for Jay So. So that'll bring up Jose Guillen. He has grounded a second. He has also grounded a short.
There was just so much I wanted to do the moment you could get out of school. Mostly would be to go to baseball games.
Now the pitch. A little bit low. 1 ball, no strikes.
There she is, the graduate right here in the booth.
I don't think you really graduate from 6th grade.
Sure you do.
Move on. Here's the 1-0. What was the word they used on the promoted? You're promoted to 7th grade.
All right.
At least that's the way I look back on my old report cards. 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch to Jose Guillen. Swinging a fly ball right center field. B.J. Upton drifting back, but has plenty of room. Gets there and makes the catch. And there's 2 gone here in the Mariner half of the 5th inning.
Of course, one of the big things to do when you get out of school, you can focus a little more on Little League. And Chevrolet and the Rays are supporting Tampa Bay area youth baseball at Tropicana Field. Every time the Rays hit a home run with Chevy Little Leaguers in attendance, Chevy will donate $250 to each team, and if they win, Chevy will double it. Visit southernchevydealers.com to locate your local dealer and take advantage of our special offers.
So with 2 outs and the bases empty, Ben Broussard will be the batter. He is 2 for 2 today. Knocked in a row with a single in the first, singled and scored his last time. It takes a pitch a little bit low for ball 1. 12-4. Rays have outscored the Mariners to this point. The 1-0. Floater swinging a foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rays have also out hit the Mariners 11-8, but have committed the game's only error. The 1-1 swing and a line drive down the right field line. This is going to get down for extra bases, I think. Broussard around first. Young plays it on a couple of hops off the wall. Gets a strong throw back in, but Broussard able to beat it. Picks up his first extra base, or first double of the season, I should say, as he stands at second base with 2 outs here in the 5th.
He's now hit as many doubles as grand slams this year.
So with a runner at second base, Richie Sexson the batter. You know, you think about this, the Rays are up 12-4. The Mariners have had 2 guys thrown out at the plate today in situations that not only cost him those 2 runs as this pitch is outside for a ball, but might have cost him a few more. So while it's Rays have some room right now, it could be a little closer. Here's the 1-0 to Sexson, and he drives it into the air to right center field, but playable for Delman Young, who drifts over toward the gap in right center to make the catch, and that'll do it for Seattle here in the 5th. Halfway through this one in St. Pete so far, so good. 12-4 Rays on the Rays Baseball Network.
Baseball. It's about loyalty.
It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes. It's about friendships. It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history. It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Some for tomorrow. I think you want to get the offense going after this team has not been scoring runs. You better keep it going.
First pitch on its way to Carl Crawford. He flares it toward left field. On the run coming in is Broussard. And will make the catch. One pitch, one out here in the bottom half of the fifth. So Crawford flies to his counterpart in left field. Like to score as many runs and get the offense feeling good about themselves again. The offense has been much maligned the last couple of days, and obviously closing out this series in Seattle, you'd like to pick up the win, but here's a swing and a high fly ball center field. Drifting back on this one is Ichiro. Now gets underneath it, makes the catch. 2 pitches, 2 outs. But after Seattle here today, they will head to Chicago, and the White Sox are the 4th best staff right now in Major League Baseball according to ERA rankings. They're 4.08 ERA so far this season. They've got 3 shutouts as a team, which is near the top. They're a tough team to get some hits against. 242 team batting average, which opponent's batting average, which is among the best in baseball.
I can't figure out
confidence going.
I can't figure out why the White Sox aren't better than what they are.
They haven't hit.
How can that lineup with those hitters not hit? That blows me away.
1 pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'll tell you what, go on to the WhiteSox.com website, and you'll see some unbelievable batting averages. Konerko, I'm not even sure. He might be at 200 now. I haven't really paid that close attention to it lately. But Konerko, Creedy, Brzezinski had been struggling a little bit. Tomey had been in and out of the lineup.
He'd been hurt, right?
They sent, Brian Anderson, their rookie from a year ago, down. Darren Erstad has been swinging a little bit. But
Dye's doing all right? He's having another good game.
Dye's heating up.
Yep.
Here's the 1-2, a swing and a foul tip by Young. 1-2 the count to Delman Young, who has a 2-run double today. (12-4) Rays batting here in the bottom of the 5th. The pitch, swinging a fister toward first, and a diving catch by Richie Sexson. Used his about 6'7" frame to reach and grab that one, and Delman Young with a little fister aiming toward right, flagged by Sexson. Rays go 1-2-3 here in the 5th inning. We're done with 5. 12-4 Rays on the Rays Baseball Network.
What's better than a great cup of Dunkin' Donuts coffee? How about a whole year's worth of Dunkin' Donuts coffee for free? Stop by any participating Dunkin' Donuts locations in the greater Tampa Bay area and register. A winner will be drawn for each Sunday home game all season. You'll win 4 tickets to see the Rays and be invited to step onto the field and throw a baseball through a huge donut for a chance to win free.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Rotunda at Gate 1 or in the Budweiser Brewhouse.
Start the 6th inning. Rays with a 12-4 lead as Jay-So gets ready to go. Here's the pitch on its way, and it's a little bit high for ball 1 to Kenji Jojima. Jojima today with a pop out to the first baseman. He's also knocked it around with a single. Now the 1-0 pitch. Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Only 75 pitches so far for Jay So. Corcoran was loosening up for a little while during the 4th inning. Now So, here's the 2-0. Swinging a hard hit ball fair down the third base side. Toward the corner it goes. Crawford over to go get it. Jojima around first, and he'll pull up at second with a leadoff double to start this 6th inning. Well, the one thing, if you're Joe Madden and Jim Hickey, and they're talking things over right now over in the first base dugout, there would be certain days where you'd be a little leery about maybe going to your bullpen in the 6th inning of a ball game where you got an 8-run lead, or maybe even a 6 or 7-run lead. But tomorrow you've got James Shields starting as the first pitch on its way to Yuniesky Betancourt is high for a ball, and I think you're safe to say right now anyway that he's probably going to give you at least 7. So maybe the guys that you'd go to today wouldn't be guys you'd have to worry about tomorrow. In theory. The 1-0 pitch, and that one floats in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Theory doesn't always work, though. Sometimes it does. Supposed to. Runner leads at second. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball back up through the middle. That's going to get through for a base hit. Jojima kind of lost track of where the fielders were. Started to go back to second base. He can only advance to third. But the Mariners have 2 on with nobody out. Runners at the corners for Jose Lopez. And the Rays bullpen beginning to shuffle. So with 2 on, nobody out, Jose Lopez coming out. Or coming up, I should say. Deanna Navarro went out to talk with Jay So, and they may get Tim Corcoran back up again. Looks like it is Corky. Rays will play the infield at double play depth. They'll give up a run to try to get 2 here. Lopez has a single and a triple today, and he's been thrown out trying to score twice. There's a pitch in there for strike 1. I think the NHK guys have Tim Corcoran playing for Seattle.
Yes, they do. They put the Mariner logo on everything.
No, do they? I didn't notice that.
I've noticed that on the NHK.
Here's the 0-1. Swinging a little flare towards short center. Upton coming on. Still coming. Dives and can't make the catch. Just eluded his grasp, and it'll fall in for a base hit. Scoring is Jojima. Betancourt gets to second on the RBI bloop single by Jose Lopez. And it's now 12-5.
I'll tell you what, Dave. Jojima did a good job there at third base, reading the play and staying off the base, because he knew that if Upton makes the catch while standing, he's got no shot at all to score. So he danced off the base, tried to cheat a little towards home plate, and I think only scored because the ball was then kicked forward by Upton. If that ball just lands and BJ traps it, I don't know if the run scores there. It was a tough decision for Jojima, but it worked out well for him.
So 2 on now with a run in. Pitch to Willie Bloomquist, and it's outside for ball 1. And this could be the last batter for Jay So. I want to sound all doomsday on you, but a home run here, and it brings you within a slam. Here's a pitch in there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Bloomquist, though, has only 3 hits for the whole season, and only one of them for extra bases, a double.
Well, Seattle has now out-hit the Rays 12-11. The pitch. Here's a little flare toward right field. This is going to settle in for a base hit. Coming around third is Betancourt, and he'll stop as Young came up with it. And the reputation of Delman Young now forces third base coach Carlos Garcia to put up the stop sign when he might have been better served to wave him around. He's had a tough day over there at third base.
Little flare by Bloomquist. Off the outside corner, just popped into shallow right. Nothing anybody could do with that. I don't even think of Upton's at second. They make that play. And here's Joe Madden. 4 straight hits in the inning. Not all of them impressive. The last 2, in fact, are bloops. But Joe Madden says enough is enough. And in the end, not a great performance today by Jay So. He's in line for the victory because he completed the 5 innings. But the Mariners have 13 hits right now. And So also walked. Well, he walked 1 and struck out 1 today. He leaves with the bases loaded and nobody out in the top of the 6th inning. And Tim Corcoran is coming in. This pitching change brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Coming this month, and with the purchase of a Jiffy Lube Signature Service oil change, get one free.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
So Ichiro gets ready to step into that left-handed hitter's batter's box. Comes up with the bases loaded here. Nobody out. Rays up by 7. Corcoran from the belt. Holds for a bit. Now the pitch. And it's a fastball low and inside for ball 1. Betancourt stands at third. Lopez at second. Bloomquist at first. Pretty good speed on the bases for the Seattle Mariners here. The 1-0. Swing and a pop-up. Left side going out Harris. Coming in is Crawford. Harris still going out. He'll make the catch. The infield fly rule was put into effect. And Ichiro pops out to short. That's a big out.
And it's a big out. And the ball looked, I thought that it might be trouble there for a moment. Harris had to go out there quickly, but made it look routine.
Steve Armstrong's yelling in my ear. He says, take an ID. We'll do that. Let's take 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the Rays Baseball Network.
You're listening to 1250 Wins, WHNZ Tampa Bay. Official home plate of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
With Andy Freed, I am Dave Wills. We are inside Tropicana Field here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Rays with a 12-5 lead. The pitch to Vidro is low and away for ball 1. Frank Lover is our engineer here at the ballpark today, and back at our studio, it's Steve Armstrong. We thank you all for joining us here on this Thursday afternoon. Some of you now beginning to make your ride home. And here's the 1-0 pitch. Inside, got off the glove of Navarro. Here comes the runner trying to score, and the tag at the plate too late. Navarro again having another ball go off his glove, and that'll probably be another pass ball, his second of the day. And it's now a 12-6 game.
Rays still in front, but second pass ball that, I mean, really wasn't that close. That pitch was almost a strike over the inside, about belt high. Navarro with his second pass ball that allows a run to score.
Rays just before game time today announced that they have called up Sean Riggins. Riggins showing up just prior to the ball game. He is in uniform and can be used later on if needed, but that also appeared to me like not only was it location that got back and crossed up Navarro, that might have been a pitch that crossed him up too. He didn't have the reactions that he usually does. But that's a big pass ball because not only did they get the run in, takes the conventional double play out of the picture. And it puts 2 runs in scoring position, and a base hit here could get him to within a slam. Here's the 2-0. Swinging a foul on a play left side. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count to Jose Vidro. Vidro doubled back in the first inning. He has grounded out and struck out since. He's the only strikeout victim for Jay So today. Now Corcoran from the belt, the 2-1 pitch. Swinging a hard hit ball to right field. That's a base hit. Scoring is Lopez. Bloomquist, though, will stop at third. And the Mariners get another run, but they stop another at third base. It's now 12-7. Rays with a lead.
And this inning started at 12-4. And it's not nail-biting time yet, but it certainly get a little too interesting when you give the other team a chance to get a lot closer with one swing. And like you said before, base runners, the more base runners you get, the dicier it gets, because you got a chance to score a bunch of runs in a hurry.
Do you think Mike Hargrove told his third base coach, Carlos Garcia, to start stopping guys?
Wouldn't be shocked.
He hasn't taken a chance since. Jose Guillen, the batter, he's 0 for 3, takes a pitch inside. 1 ball, no strikes. By the way, we'll talk about the Rays throwing 2 guys out at the plate today. It's our Getting Schooled Moments of the Game. It's brought to you by Academic Financial Services, funding futures every day. Guillen is 0 for 3, knocked in a run with a ground out to second. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss at a pitch up in the zone. He didn't get it. It's 1-1. By no means are we saying the sky is falling, but the Rays, of their 18 victories, none have been by more than 3 runs. So you just had a feeling they were going to have to make it a little more interesting. And they have. It's 12-7 now as Sean Kemp warms up in the Rays bullpen. We're only in the 6th inning. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, good stop by Navarro, and the count 2 balls, 1 strike.
What has been amazing, Dave, is how many times the Rays have had big leads and they get down to that less than 3-run total, or times that the Rays are getting slaughtered early and come back and get it very close. I mean, it seems like this team always plays very close games.
2 balls, 1 strike to count. Now Corcoran again looking in, gets the sign, sets at the belt. The 2-1 pitch. Swinging, he popped him up. Center field, Upton coming in, still coming in. Now gets underneath it and makes the catch. Bloomquist had a short lead off of third base, but he's not going anywhere. And there's 2 gone now here in the 6th inning. Again, it doesn't look like B.J. Upton's running all that hard, but boy, does he cover a lot of ground in a short period of time.
Long, gallant steps for B.J. Upton. And he does cover a ton of ground, but it never looks like he's running hard, but he is.
I wouldn't want to race him.
You know, B.J.'s one of those guys, too, that's a lot taller than you realize. Well, I think when you watch him on TV, you see him in person, he looks almost like
6 foot.
Yeah, but he's a long, lanky guy with quick legs.
Ben Broussard is perfect today. He is 3 for 3. The pitch from Corcoran is outside for ball 1. Back in the first, he singled the left. Back in the third, singled the center. Last time up, a double down the right field line. He has scored a run, knocked in a run. 12-7 Rays. 2 on, 2 outs for the Mariners here in the 6th. The pitch outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Rays leading the run column, which is the most important one. But they have been out hit so far today, 14-11. And how big are those 2 runs now thrown out at the plate? Now the 2-0 pitch. Swinging a foul out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. You take those two runs at the plate out of the equation. You put them on the board. Believe it or not, Ben Broussard would then be the tying runner at the plate right now. Corcoran trying to get out of this 6th inning. So far, all 3 of the runs have been charged to Jay So. Now the 2-1. Swinging a foul off of the screen. The count leveling at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Broussard's double back in the 5th inning. That was his first hit other than a single or a homer this season. Crowd thought they were in store for a laugher. Now they're just trying to get through the 6th inning here. The 2-2 pitch on its way. A swing and a miss. Struck him out on a breaking pitch. Broussard is out for the first time this afternoon. Seattle, though, puts 3 more on the board at the end of 5.5 here in St. Pete. It's the Rays 12, Seattle 7 on the Rays Baseball Network.
The sun comes up, the day arrives.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
For more information, call 888-FAN-RAYS or log on to devilrays.com. 5-run lead for the Rays heading to the bottom of the 6th inning, and Jason Davis remains in the game.
53 were strikes, 5-3.
First pitch of the bottom of the 6th. On its way to Waterhay Cantu, and he takes it for a strike. 0-1 the count. Rays coming off a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th, trying to get a little something started, get a little more cushion. As there's a swing and a chopper. 2-hopper to shortstop. Betancourt has it, throws, and again off the line, but Sexton comes off the line and puts the tag down on Cantu, and there's 1 out. It was a chopper 2-hopper, wasn't it, Parks?
You're just getting in the mood, aren't you?
So 1 out for Johnny Gomes. Gomes is grounded to short, and he's walked a couple of times. He scored 2 runs. Gomes trying to get off the interstate. He's at $178. Davis has done a pretty decent job since coming in. He gave up a couple of runs in the 4th, but that's it so far. There's a pitch outside, and the count 1 ball, no strikes at 95. Seattle scored twice in the 1st. Rays 3 in the bottom half. Here's the 1-0, swinging a foul out of play. Seattle then tied it with a run in the top of the 2nd inning. They took a 4-3 lead with a run in the 3rd, but then the Rays scored the touchdown, kicks the extra point, and it took a 10-4 lead, good buddy, and then scored 2 more in the 4th. Seattle, though, scored 3 in the 6th. There's the pitch, and it hits Johnny Gomes. Gomes hit by another pitch, and he'll take first base.
Johnny only has appeared in 18 games this year, Dave, and yet he leads the team in being hit by a pitch 4 times now for John.
Lucky for him. I mean, I don't ever want to get hit by a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, even with body armor on. But for the most part, It seems like he's been clipped in that particular piece of equipment, which helps just a little bit. Deanna Navarro, the batter. First pitch to him is on the inside corner, called a strike. Navarro with a 2-run triple this last time. His first triple of the season, first big league triple, as Andy pointed out. But he didn't score. Here's the pitch. A swing and a little fister toward first. Sexton has it, goes to second out. Now the throw back to first in time. Nicely done. That's a 3-6-1 double play. One of the tougher double plays that can be turned. 3-6-1 on the twin killing. Rays are done in the 6th. We go to the 7th. 12-7 Rays on the Rays Baseball Network.
When was the last time your communications provider hit a grand slam?
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever.
It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Inning, Carlos Pena is the new first baseman for the Rays, as Rays are holding on to a 12-7 lead. It'll be Richie Sexson, Kenji Jojima, and Yuneski Betancourt. They are the scheduled hitters for the Mariners here in the top half of the 7th. And treat your Major League clients and employees like All-Stars at the all-new FloridaSbeach.com sandbar. Make your reservations today by calling 888-FAN-RAYS or visit DevilRays.com. The call the play-by-play in the 7th and the 8th. Here's Andy.
David, thank you. As Corcoran back for his second inning of work, and Richie Sexson, this is the way you like to face him, leading off an inning. And the first pitch sails inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Sexton, Jojima, and Betancourt due up with the Rays up 12-7. So begin this 7th inning of work. And Corcoran steps back, turns and throws. Swinging a fly ball foul back to our right. 1 ball and 1 strike. There's been talk, and that's all it is at this point, of if the Rays were to make a change in the rotation, that Corcoran could be one of the guys to go back and do it. I mean, he was a big part of the Rays rotation through a lot of last year and enter the rotation the same kind of way, out of necessity. They couldn't get him out of it. Here's a pitch inside. It's 2-1. Started 4-0 last year as a starter to Tim Corcoran. 2 balls, 1 strike here to Richie Sexton. 0 for 3 today. Did reach on an error. Grounds 1-1, big hop to third. Back to field is Wilson. A long throw over and plenty of time, and 1 out here in the Mariners 7th.
At the end of this half inning, we'll hear from our very own Rich Herrera. We'll talk to him, or he will talk to us about what's up with Josh Paul. He was placed on a DL today, and here's a guy that was placed on a DL with a sprained elbow, and we're hearing now that it could be anywhere from 6 weeks before he's back. Finished the game.
I know.
Finished the game with it. That was impressive.
If anyone saw the replay on how far his elbow bent in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to go that way.
No, I don't know how something didn't break. Kenji Jojima grounds one to the hole at short. Backhanding Harris. Throwing from left field. Here it comes. In the dirt and gets by Pena. But a nice backup by Deanna Navarro, the catcher, to run down the line and chase it down, holding Jojima to 1 base. It'll probably be an infield single.
We'll see. The official score the last couple of days has been ultra tough.
Well, that was a tremendously long throw, but Harris did get the ball with time. I mean, a perfect throw probably does get him. both feet were on the outfield grass when he got the baseball. That might be an E6. We'll see. It is an E6.
Telling you, these guys are former pitchers.
Second error of the game by the Rays, both by the left side of the diamond. 1 out, 1 on in the 7th inning, and to the plate comes Yuniesky Betancourt. It was 1 for 3 today. Corcoran works out of the stretch with a runner aboard. Jojima not really much of a threat to run here, and the pitch is inside 1-0. I thought it was interesting, Dave. I saw a note where the Upper Deck Company is making a pitch to buy
Topps,
which was the only name in baseball cards for decades.
I thought Flair was there too, wasn't it?
I think Flair was second. Here's the pitch low and inside 2-0. It was Topps forever. Then Flair got into it into the 80s, as I remember, and then Upper Deck joined.
Upper Deck was kind of like the elite, good-looking card. Little thicker, maybe a little, seemed like it had a little more something to it. It was a little more expensive than the Topps. And I don't know if it came. I don't think it came with gum.
It came. Yeah. What did it come? It came with other extra cards in it. But the Topps were the granddaddy of them all. They go back to 1930. I mean, the bid's not been agreed upon or approved in any way. Here's the pitch low and inside 3-0.
It's almost like like a young whippersnapper team coming out and trying to buy the Yankees.
That's right.
Be like the Rays trying to buy the Yankees.
That's exactly right.
Wouldn't you think?
Are we whippersnappers?
We still are. We're still young whippersnappers.
It's 3-0 to Betancourt. Lopez is on deck. And the pitch way inside. Ball 4. An error and a walk. With 1 out, have put Mariners at first and second. And we'll bring up Lopez, who is 3 for 3.
Well, there is no game clock. There's no time in baseball. There's not a finite number of minutes you're going to play the game. And I think what happens is when you've got leads like this and you start making errors and you start walking, what you essentially do is lengthen the game. And you give the other team an opportunity to get back in the ball game. You're keeping them around, and Jim Hickey going out to talk with Tim Corcoran right now to get him back to where he's staying aggressive in the strike zone. When Corky runs into trouble is when he starts to maybe be too fine. He's better off just going out there and saying, all right, here's my 93, 94, and try and hit it. It's got some natural movement to it, but it's up to Tim to be aggressive. When he's aggressive, that helps. When he's not, that's when he gets hit.
It's 2 on, 1 out. Sean Camp warming in the bullpen, and here's Jose Lopez, who has twice been thrown out at the plate. He's also scored 1 run and driven 1 in. Tried to do it inside the Parker and was thrown out at the plate once. Here's ball 1 low, 1-0. So a ball, no strikes here to Lopez. And it's 12-7 Rays in the 7th inning. Corcoran trying to get out of this frame in a hurry. 1 ball, no strikes. The stretch. He works way inside. It's 2 balls, no strikes. And a poorly timed dose of wildness here for the Rays right-hander. Willie Bloomquist is on deck for Seattle. He scored 3 runs last inning with the Rays, who had an 8-run lead. They still have a 5-run lead, but you don't want to play as if you're down by a couple. Tim's got to pitch aggressively, and there he throws a strike over the outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. The count here to Lopez, who had been hitless in the series. 0 for 8 until his 3-hit performance today. Corcoran on the first base side of the rubber, the Louisiana native from Slaughter, Louisiana. Sent from the belt, looks to Jojima leading at second and works 2-1. Fly ball well hit to left field. Crawford turning and looking. This one is a 3-run homer. It's a 2-run game. It's 12-10 Rays.
Hanger of a curveball, and Jose Lopez, who had been going back up through the middle with every other hit so far today, hits an absolute rocket out of here to left field, and it's his 6th home run of the season, and RBI's number 18, 19, and 20. And folks, we got a whole new ball game.
You're right, hanging breaking ball right there. And Joe Madden coming out, and who can blame him? Corcoran's not the answer today. as Sean Camp will come on here in the 7th inning. 6 runs in the last 2 innings combined for the Seattle Mariners. In what was once a 12-4 Rays lead, it's now 12-10 the Rays. Camp is coming in. This pitching change brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Come in this month and with the purchase of a Jiffy Lube signature service oil change, get one free. See stores for details while the new pitcher makes his way to the mound. We'll pause and return on the Rays Radio Network.
Are you in baseball? It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever.
It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Mariners are hitting .286 against him, and he pitched in the other day 2/3 of an inning. So Sean Camp trying to get out of this jam. Pitched yesterday, I should say.
Willie Bloomquist grounds a base hit to left field on Camp's first pitch. Waiting in the weeds on that first pitch fastball, and Bloomquist hitting .097 coming in is 2 for 3 with a walk today and a run scored. Now the possible tying run comes to the plate in Ichiro when the Rays led 12-4 less than 2 innings ago.
Stop by the Cuesta Ray Cigar Bar located in Center Field Street at Tropicana Field. Enjoy the finest Cuesta Ray cigars while watching your Rays in style and comfort. For more information, call 888-FAN-RAYS or log on to devilrays.com.
Ichiro Suzuki is playing in his 1,000th Major League game today, at least in America, after a long career in Japan. And he's got a couple of hits, and why not? That's what this guy does. He takes ball 1 low, 1-0. That scoreboard has gotten a workout today. 12 runs, 11 hits for the Rays, 10 runs, 16 hits for the Mariners. And look at the column that does not have a whole lot. Left on base. The pitch is low and outside as Ichiro goes to bunt. It's 2 balls, no strikes.
When they've gotten him on, they've gotten him in
Both
for the
teams.
most part.
Yep. Both sides.
But how about now? How big are those 2 guys throwing out of the plate right now? Wow.
Incredible. 2 balls, no strikes here to Ichiro. And there is ball 3, low and away. A late strike call. My mistake. 2 balls, 1 strike. Larry Poncino ringing him up. It's 2-1 to Ichiro, who has twice popped to short.
3 runs, 2 earned.
He has had an infield single to score to run and single to right field as well. 2 for 4. Camp delivers 2-1. Bloomquist runs the pitch, chopped out towards the middle, backhanding his Wingington turns, has to hurry the throw. They got him. That was bang bang at first, and up to second goes Bloomquist. Oh, is that close at first?
And if I'm Mike Hargrove, I go out to argue. I think the Rays got a little bit of a break. Wigginton had to go behind the bag at second, set his feet, and threw off balance, and the Rays got a break.
He was not only safe at first, but he was just about by the bag when that throw arrived to first base. What a break for the Rays. 2 down with a runner at second, and up steps Jose Vidro.
Well, Mike Hargrove's conversation with Bruce Dreckman did not get all that animated, and Hargrove now jogging back to the dugout. But they still get a run into scoring position here.
As much as that argument didn't seem to go anywhere, and by as much as that call was missed, I wonder if that was the kind of argument where Dreckman goes, look, Mike, I think I missed it. I understand.
I might have missed it. Yep.
Pitch is low and inside. Ball 1 here to Vidro. It's 1-0.
And then what are you supposed to say?
All right, it pulls the plug on the argument.
Safe, out, safe, out, safe, safe, safe. What?
Vidro is 2 for 4 in a 2-run Rays lead now. Camp throws, swung on and missed at a sinker. Good pitch. And it's 1-1 strike. Vidro doubled in the first and scored. Grounded to second, struck out looking, and had a base hit to right field to knock in a run for the Mariners. 1-1 strike here to Vidro. Leading off second is Bloomquist, and he can run. He'd score on most singles to the outfield. And the pitch low and inside with a slider, and it's now 2-1. Vidro has the most hits of any designated hitter right now in the big leagues. That, of course, meaning in the American League. 2-1 to the switch hitting Vidro, a second baseman by trade, but a DH with Seattle. Now the pitch, low and away with a sinker, and it's 3 balls 1 strike. And you got the power coming up next. Jose Guillen is on deck for Seattle. And it did not look like it was going to be tight or tense. Has become both. And the pitch is a strike 2 called over the outside corner. Full count 3-2. Cam steps off the rubber for a moment and looks up into the dome, and now will toe the first base side of the rubber. 3-2 with 2 down. First base is open. Vidro's the possible tying run. 12-10 Rays in the 7th inning. Camp holds the glove over the left part of his chest, shows the baseball behind his right hip, and now steps behind the rubber. And now he'll toe it once more. Vidro all the while just waiting at the plate as Bloomquist leads at second. Out of the stretch, Camp ready to go. The 3-2 pitch way outside. Ball 4. He lost him. The tying runs are aboard for the Mariners, and Jose Guillen is coming up.
Guillen does have home run power. 5 homers so far today. A couple of fly ball outs to center field already today, but Camp, when he's on, throws that sinker ball. Tough to get lift, but this season he has been kind of dropping down a little bit on that sinker ball, and it's flattened out. Got to be careful right here.
Jose Guillen is the RBI leader for the Mariners with 24. He's got 5 home runs as well. Cam's pitch, fastball, strike called over the inside corner, and it's 0-1.
Camp has given up a home run this season, just one.
12-10 Rays. Bloomquist at second, Vidro at first. Rays trying to escape here in the 7th inning. Now Camp kicks and fires. Swinging a foul back beneath us, and Camp has jumped ahead in the count, held 0-2. Guillen is 0 for 4 today after collecting 4 hits in yesterday's game. All singles. Today's grounded out twice and popped up twice. 0-2 the count here to Guillen. Mariners with 3 in the inning on a Jose Lopez home run. And now the runners lead with a count 0-2. Camp is on top and pitches. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Had to make sure that Poncino rung him up. But that was a beautiful pitch taken by Guillen. And the Mariners leave 2 in the inning. Camp does the job for now. 7th inning stretch time at Tropicana Field. It's now the Rays 12.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever.
It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
for clarifying what's going on with Josh Paul.
And Josh Wilson leads off here in the bottom of the 7th and takes ball 1-1-0. How about that, though, that Ron Porterfield said that if it had been his throwing arm, he would need reconstructive surgery. The pitch to Wilson almost hit him inside. It's 2 balls, no strikes. But the fact that it's his non-throwing arm means that he'll hope to be back within 6 weeks to 2 months. But that tells you about the toughness of Paul. Playing the rest of the game with that injury to now know its true severity. Wilson takes ball 3 up and away. 3 balls, no strikes.
Rays need to, I wouldn't say, this would be kind of like one of those, you're a basketball game, you want to work the clock here a little bit. You want to start taking some pitches and maybe get some walks.
He just got a strike called there. It's 3-1. Eric O'Flaherty is warming up, a left-hander down the left field line for the Mariners. Wilson, Upton, and Harris are due up, and the 3-1 pitch popped up foul out of play, and the count's run full. 3-2. Wilson today is a couple of hits, single to left, RBI single to center with a run scored, and grounded to second. 2 for 3. Everybody's gotten into the hit column except Johnny Gomes today for the Rays. The pitch is driven in the air towards right field, but routine. Waiting for it is Jose Guillen under it and catches it. 1 out in the Rays' 7th.
Folks, this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Well, we just got tomorrow's disclaimer done.
We did?
A double disclaimer
today.
I
didn't hear you do it. I was reading my email.
It's quite all right. Here comes B.J. Upton. That probably makes up for one we missed along the way.
Yeah, Now we're covered.
Inside here to B.J. in his 1 ball, no strikes.
See, usually that's what I do.
I know it.
You took my thunder.
I changed
so I wanted to do
routine.
it anyway. I just felt like I wanted to do it. Had nothing else to say.
So beautifully worded. The 1-0 pitch. And it's up and inside. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Upton.
Larry McCabe said I'm getting paid by the word today, so I wanted to mix in a couple more syllables.
All right, well, if you want to throw another one in, you can.
No, I think we're done.
2-0 the count here to Upton.
I think if you do 3 in one game, then it means like you did none.
Oh, just nullifies it.
Mm-hmm.
2 balls, no strikes to Upton. Davis pitches, and he's upstairs. So back-to-back hitters. He's gone 3-0. Fought back to go full, and then 3-2 to Wilson and got him out. And it's 3-0 here to the follow-up hitter, Upton. Brendan Harris next. 12-10 Rays. We're in the 7th inning. The right-hander delivers upstairs, ball 4, and a walk to B.J. Upton. A 4-pitch walk. And it'll bring up Brendan Harris, who will be the last batter that Davis will face. O'Flaherty, the left-hander, will face Carl Crawford next, at least I would think.
Maybe now.
Maybe now, because here is Mike Hargrove. So he's going to bring in the lefty to face the right-handed batting Brendan Harris. And yet he has not officially made the move. We're looking down towards the left field bullpen and looking at Mike Hargrove heading to the mound, who looks down the way but does not make a call as of yet. So with going 3-0 and each of the last 2 hitters, there's the call to the bullpen. So O'Flaherty's coming in. His pitching change brought to you by Jiffy Lube, coming this month, and with the purchase of a Jiffy Lube signature service oils change, get another for free. See stores for details. 12-10 Rays, 1-0.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever.
It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Glad as well.
All right, here is Harris to bat. The rare situation of lefty brought in to face right-hander, albeit the left-hander Crawford is on deck. Upton at first, a threat to run, and that might be much of the reason why they have brought him in. He's got a good move, goes to first, and Upton back to the base.
Quick look at our BB&T out-of-town scoreboard. St. Louis swept Pittsburgh today, 3-1.
The Pirates are
picked up the win. He's 6-3. Tom Gorzolani the loss.
Throw to first again. O'Flaherty and back to the base goes up. So the Pirates are swept, you say?
They were swept. That's what it says. Pirates are now 19-27. Wow.
They got off to a good start too.
They were pretty good 14, 15 years ago.
Here's the pitch to Harris. So that's up and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, we're just teasing our good buddy Frank Lover. Does a great job as our engineer and lives and dies with the Pirates. And he's been doing a lot of dying lately. 1-0 the count here to O'Flaherty. I think he's mad.
He's going to play that broken glass on you again pretty soon.
Here's the stretch by O'Flaherty. A look towards first. Upton with a sizable lead. Not running. Harris swings and misses at the fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's the Rays 12 and the Mariners 10. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1 out. And Upton at first. The Rays at 1 point led 12-8. And the Mariners scored 3 in the 6th and 3 in the 7th against the beleaguered Rays bullpen. And Jay So gave up 7 runs, 6 earned as it turned out today. They changed that. It had been 5 earned at one point, then they made it 6 earned again. Throw to first, and Upton read that beautifully. Back to the bag easily. So now the Rays, who had an 8-run lead, might be feeling that 12 might not be enough. Although the Rays have to get through the 8th, and then they can get Reyes, who has been automatic so far this year, in. That's why a couple of more runs here would be kind of nice. Here's a drive into left center field. Ichiro got a good jump, chasing after it, and runs it down in left center. Does anyone get a better jump in the outfield than Ichiro? 2 down.
Off the bat, I thought that was a double.
So did I.
Off the bat, I thought it had a chance to split him and would give Upton an opportunity to score from first, but Ichiro just got a great jump, and then he closes on the ball so well and so effortlessly, and be glad to see him leave.
Yeah. Won't see the Mariners again until September.
Ichiro, it's time to go.
Now here's Crawford. Pitch inside, snap throw to first by Jojima. Upton back easily. Ichiro's had a fine series with the glove and 5 hits in 3 games. Typical Ichiro kind of sad. 1 ball to no strikes here to Crawford. There's 3 RBI. Throw to first, and Upton just back this time.
Tell you what, Richie Sexson had a few words for first base umpire Bruce Streckman. Is this, don't you owe us?
1 ball, no strikes to Crawford. Flaherty's pitch, strike 2 called over the inside, strike 1 call. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Flaherty's got some broad shoulders to begin with, but with that last name, it has to start at like his left sleeve, and it goes all the way to his right sleeve.
He's no Gerald Saltalamacchia, though, or William Van Lanningham. 1 ball, 1 strike. Upton runs the pitch, almost hit Crawford. Jojima's throw is a beauty, and Upton is out easily. Head first dive, no shot. Jojima having a hard time throwing runners out earlier, but now he is in a hot stretch defensively as a catcher. Not to mention how many balls he's blocked in the dirt today. Caught stealing, going 2-6. The Rays are retired. Crawford will have to lead off the 8th. At the end of 7, it remains Rays 12, Seattle 10 on the Rays Radio Network.
This baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever.
It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
5. More details, visit devilrays.com, where baseball is always on.
Top of the 8th, Camp back to work to Ben Broussard has started off, and he takes low and outside 1-0.
We've got 3 2/3 for Jason Davis. Yes. 2 hits, 2 runs earned. He walked 3, struck out 1.
1-0 the count here to Broussard. Sexton and Jojima to follow. Big inning. Here's the pitch from Camp. Right over the inside corner for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Remember last year early on in the season, Joe Madden, probably right around this time into June and July, started realizing that Sean Camp was a better pitcher just for the inning he came out of the bullpen. Didn't like to go back-to-back innings with him.
He works 1-1. Floats the sinker. That was up, but he got a strike with it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But he's going against that theory today by having Sean start the next frame, even against the left-hander, with Broussard leading it off. Nothing but right-handers the rest of the way, and the pitch fouled straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Everybody right-handed until Ichiro would come up, but he's still 6 hitters away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Broussard. 3 for 4 this afternoon. 2 singles and a double, an RBI and a run scored. Very close to the plate, the former Indian, and the 1-2 by Camp. That is called strike 3 over the inside corner. Corcoran struck out Broussard swinging last time. Camp freezes him with a slider over the inside this time, and down he goes.
Nice downward movement on that particular pitch, and not sure what Broussard was looking for, but obviously it wasn't that pitch. We'll sink action to it, and got him looking.
Sinkage. And up steps Richie Sexton. Richie Sexton swings and misses through the slider, and it's 0-1. Sexton is fouled to first, reached on an error, flied to right, and grounded to third. Big 2-run single to tie the game in game 1. And the next one by Camp hit him. Nicked him, but hit him nonetheless. And Sexton will be aboard, and the tying run comes up in Jojima.
So Sexton clipped by the pitch, and again, earlier in the game, Johnny Gomes was hit, but I think, again, if you're looking for any kind of retribution, you're waiting to do it another day. He protected a 2-run lead. That pitch almost either clipped him on the edge of the jersey, or that was about it. Didn't really, I don't even know if it got him on the body.
Yeah, I don't think it did.
Jim Hickey coming out to talk with Sean Camp, and the Rays will get Al Reyes up a little bit early.
You better believe that's early for Al Reyes. With 1 out in the 8th inning, Reyes is beginning to warm up. And the Rays would like to get a double play grounder here by Jojima, who's been a hot hitter. And he's having another good day. 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. 12 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors, only 5 left for the Rays. The Mariners 10 runs, 16 hits, no errors, 8 men left on base. The Mariners won each of the first 2 games somewhat comfortably, and the Rays short-lived 12-4 lead. It looked like the Rays might have this one comfortably, but it has become anything but. Camp will work to Jojima here. It was a home run in this series. Double play is what Camp's looking for. The stretch, here he comes. And that is called strike. Nope, he did not ring him up that time. Just missed on the outside. 1-0.
Raised the right arm up, but that was just to adjust his mask.
I guess so. 1-0 here to Jojima. Sexton aboard at first. I don't think much of a threat to run in this spot. Camp works, swinging a double play ball, maybe to short. Softly hit. Harris to second, 1. Wigginton to first. They got him. Double play. The third of the day for the Rays, and it comes at a perfect time. The Mariners hit into the double play, and at the end of 7 1/2, it's the Rays 12, the Mariners 10 on the Rays Radio Network.
From the crack of dawn.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history. It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
Half of the 8th inning. Let's take a look, if we can, during this particular half inning at our Progress Energy Power Report. The home run leaders in the American and National Leagues. A lot of games later today, but right now, as far as home runs are concerned, the AL, Alex Rodriguez is 18. Justin Morneau is heating up. He's got 14. Mags Ordonez with 12, and Torrey Hunter at 11. In the National League, J.J. Hardy has 14. So does his teammate Prince Fielder.
Carl Crawford takes strike one call from Eric O'Flaherty to start the 8th. It's 0-1.
Chipper Jones with a dozen. Barry Bonds with 11. Aramis Ramirez with 11 as well.
Crawford and then Wigginton on deck, and Young will be third in the inning. Here's ball one outside, 1-1.
That is our Progress Energy Power Report of the game, brought to you by Progress Energy. People, performance, excellence.
O'Flaherty winds and pitches, and he's low and inside, 2-1. By the way, Dave, I must correct a mistake. It was only the second double play turn by the Rays.
I thought I made a mistake.
Both teams have turned 2 double plays today. From the line, the left-hander down the hill. Crawford takes a slider for strike 2 called, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 here to CC. Now the pitch almost hit him inside. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. And nobody warming in the Mariner pen. Does mean that we have seen everyone in the Mariner bullpen this series. Here's a swing and a slow roller by the mound to short. To his left, sweeping over is Betancourt, and he sidearms Crawford out. And that's one man set down here in the 8th. The Rays have not had a hit since Navarro's 2-run triple in the 4th. 1 out will bring up Ty Wigginton.
At least they stretched it out a little further, though. We weren't getting hits after the 2nd and 3rd innings the last few days.
Well, the Rays will bring in Al Reyes for the 9th, during which the Mariners will send up Betancourt, Lopez, and Bloomquist. Wigginton takes a pitch low, and it's 1-0. And Lopez, who has 4 hits today, is a double away from the cycle. A rarity. 1 ball, no strikes. Flaherty throws, swung on and missed by Wigginton. 1 ball and 1 strike. Good looking changeup, especially for a left-hander there. That slow change there to Wigginton. He was way out in front. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wiggy has a double and an RBI, and 2 scored today. O'Flaherty throws, and a slider is low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rays trying to salvage 1 on this segment of the homestand. They swept the Rangers 3 up at Disney World. Now the 2-1 lifted towards left down the line. Chasing after Broussard, looking up at the wall. It's gone! Into the front row for Ty Wigginton. The Rays tack 1 on. They lead 13-10. So Wigginton finds the front row of seats to straightaway left. And for Wigginton, that's his team leading 9th home run, tied with Carlos Pena for the team lead. And the Rays can breathe a little easier. Not a lot, but a little easier. Now Delman Young, and he takes up and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. For O'Flaherty, that is the first home run that he has allowed. 1-0 here to Delman Young. Pitch on the way, check swing roller foul along first, and it is now 1 ball and 1 strike here to Delman Young.
Wiggy trying to move into the top 5 in the American League. 1 more and he would.
A ball and a strike. Now here it comes. Swinging a slow tapper along third. That is a foul ball. Home plate umpire Larry Poncino ruled it foul. It never got to the bag at third. Bloomquist charged and fielded it, and as he went to throw, Poncino went up with both arms. So what's that now? I think I got this right, Dave. 37 career homers for Ty Wigginton since joining the Rays. 25 or so have been in this ballpark. 1-2 the count here to Young. Well, he loves hitting here. O'Flaherty's 1-2 pitch struck him out swinging on a slider, and that's out number 2. And before Carlos Pena can stand in to try to take over the home run lead, we'll pause for station identification on the Rays Radio Network.
You're listening to 1250 Wins, WHNZ Tampa Bay. Official home plate of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
With Dave Wills, I'm Andy Freed. And Frank Lover, our engineer. Harrison Markey helping us in the booth. And Steve Armstrong back in the network studios. It's 13-10 Rays. As we play here in the 8th inning, 2 down, nobody on. Carlos Pena bats for the first time and takes a called strike from O'Flaherty, and it's 0-1. 6 o'clock here. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning in Japan. This game being televised only in Japan. Here's a swing and a foul back to the left and out of play, and it's 0-2.
Time to get up and go to school or go to work. Time to get moving.
That's right.
We usually used to race home to watch the end of an afternoon game. Now you get a race to school because you stayed late to watch a game.
The folks at NHK broadcasting this game featuring Ichiro and Kenji Jojima. And they're longing for Aki, I would think. The 0-2 pitch, low and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
How about this? I was just kind of looking at the American League leaders. Mags Ordonez is 4th in the American League in batting at .345. He's 3rd in the category of home runs with 12, and he's now 2nd with 42 runs batted in, just 1 behind A-Rod. I mean, he's put together a pretty solid season, and I'm not sure too many people east of the Appalachian Mountains know much about.
The 1-2 pitch to Pena is low and outside, 2-2.
Did you know he was having that good of a season?
I knew he had that kind of power numbers. I didn't realize his average was that high. We'll see the Tigers when the Rays return home.
Next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right?
That's right. From Chicago, the Tigers will be here waiting. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Pena. O'Flaherty from the windup and delivers. And Pena, look out. A little chin music there. Spins him out of there. Full count, 3-2.
Think about the Tigers. Made it to the World Series a year ago, and they did it with a lot of their young pitching. But, you know, they took some, I don't know if you'd say calculated risks by signing Ivan Rodriguez after he was, you know, led the Marlins to the World Series. And then Ordonez.
3-2 delivery to Pena is up and away, ball 4. Ordonez, who had been plagued with so many injuries, that was it not? And I don't even know if you know, but incentive-laden contract with outs for the team if injuries cropped up. Similar to kind of like what the Rays had with Baldelli, not quite the higher stakes as Magglio Ordonez, but similar in theory.
And it's outside of, again, kind of an injury-plagued 2005. He had a solid season last year, and he's back to being pretty decent, real good player. I mean, he was a guy that when he was with Chicago would end up with some pretty decent numbers.
Here's Johnny Gomes swinging and popping this one into the air to straightaway center field. Should be final out of the inning. Ichiro goes back and now in and to his left. He always goes side to side at the end as he makes the catch. Side retired. 1 hit, 1 run, a homer by Wigginton. The Rays leave their 6th runner. They're hoping that 13 are enough. We go to the top of the 9th. Al Reyes coming on to try to save his 13th in a row. At the end of 8, the Rays 13 and the Mariners 10 on the Rays Radio Network.
Dick Crippen here. Experience interval.
Baseball. It's about loyalty. It's about dedication.
It's about being champions.
Tradition.
It's about never giving up.
It's about never giving up. Never ever. It's about the ballpark.
It's about superstition.
It's about recognition. It's about heroes.
It's about friendships.
It's about family.
It's about teammates.
It's about history.
It's about doing what it takes to win.
Authentic Major League Baseball jerseys, hats, and accessories, all at Dick's Sporting Goods. For a complete lineup, visit dicksportinggoods.com.
The final game went 2 for 2 up at Disney, but Reyes comes on here in the top of the 9th with Betancourt, Lopez, and Bloomquist. 13-10 Rays. He's looking for his 13th straight save. And as we go to the 9th inning, hopefully to bring us home a winner, let's send it over to Dave Wills.
Nice to mix one in here. Close out the homestand with a W, and the first pitch from Al Reyes. He's in there for strike 1. Lower third of the batting order for Seattle. Who would have thunk it that Reyes would be pitching in this game a couple of innings ago? Here's a swing and a foul back below us. And they count 0-2. Betancourt, couple of hits today, couple of runs. Rays at one time had a 12-4 lead in this game. It's 13-10 now. Infield back all the way. Reyes ready to go. The 0-2 pitch on its way. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reyes getting ready to will hop on the shuttle to Chicago and open up a 3-game series with the Chicago White Sox tomorrow. Get it started at 7:30 local time of the pregame. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Hey, struck him out. That's out number 1 here in the 9th. It's only the 5th strikeout by Rays pitching today, as Jose Lopez comes to the plate.
And he comes up a double shy of the cycle. 3-run homer last time up. 2 singles and a triple.
Seeing 30% chance of showers each day over the weekend in Chicago.
Expecting big crowds, though. We'll get them in.
Here's the pitch on its way. A breaking pitch in there for strike 1 to Jose Lopez. Might be landing in a thunderstorm tonight.
Oh, good. That's always fun.
Actually, Saturday's at 60%. Sorry about that, Pards. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Didn't we? 2 years ago, we had to wait through a long rain delay on the 4th of July when we were out there, wasn't it?
They played the game, though.
Infield back all the way. The 1-1 pitch. Swing, and he popped him up. Center field, B.J. Upton drifting in and over a couple of steps. Now gets underneath it, makes the catch, and there's quickly 2 gone here in this 9th inning.
How good has Reyes been? Well, in save situations this year, the league is now just 2 for 40 against him. That's remarkable. And overall, Dave, the league batting now less than .090. Only 1 pitcher in baseball amongst relievers has a lower opponent's batting average. That's Francisco Cordero, the Brewers, at .083. But with 0 for 2 in this inning, that's getting down into that territory.
Here's the first pitch on its way, and it's a little bit low for ball 1 to Willie Bloomquist.
Actually, Raul Ibanez is now coming up to pinch hit for him.
He is. I looked up at the scoreboard. I saw Bloomquist still. Ibanez had a sore back for a while. Got it while they said he was sleeping. An injury that had been bothering him, but the last few days he had been swinging off the tee and also taking some flips and trying to extend this ball game. The pitch. A little bit low and outside, and it's 3-0. Ichiro waits on deck. Ibanez with home run pop. Al Reyes' pitch, the 3-0, missed. Ball 4. He walked him on 4 pitches. So a walk to Willie Bloomquist's pinch hitter, Raul Ibanez. And now back to the top of the order we go to Ichiro. Ichiro today has 2 hits. He's 2 for 5 in the ball game. Rays trying to wrap it up here. They had a 12-4 lead at one time. It's 13-10 here, and the tying run is in the on-deck area. The pitch, as Ibanez will take second base on a defensive indifference, and the pitch is high for a ball.
Defensive indifference.
1-0 the count to Ichiro. Reyes' pitch inside, and that's 6 straight out of the strike zone for Al Reyes. And how many times have we seen that happen? None. So 2-0 the count to Ichiro. Right-hander ready to pitch. Right down the middle with that one. It's called a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. 13 runs on 12 hits for the Rays. 10 runs on 6 hits for Seattle. And they've had 2 people thrown out at the plate today. The 2-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? They're going to say no, he didn't. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Infield back everywhere except at third. The pitch, a swing and a drive toward right center field. Delman Young going back, so is Upton to the wall. It's gone. A 2-run home run for Ichiro Suzuki. And it's now a 1-run ball game here in the top of the 9th. It's 13-12. Wow, how big is that Ty Wigginton home run now? How big is, I mean, there have been so many little plays amongst the 25 runs that have been scored that are now huge.
1,000th game celebration for Ichiro. 3 hits, including a 9th inning 2-run homer. And they're rubbing their eyes waking up in Japan, and they're seeing just what they tuned in for on their TV network.
Now the lead down to 1. The pitch to Jose Vidro, and it's a little bit low.
Just the 3rd hit that Reyes has given up in a save situation. 2 of them are home runs.
Now the 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. 13-12. A little better than 3 hours of baseball now being played, and Joe Maddon's going to come out and talk with Al Reyes and make sure that everything's all right with him. Carlos Pena coming in as well.
I think he saw the reaction of Reyes on that last pitch that he missed to Vidro. A rare sign of emotion on the mound for Reyes. A little frustration. And you can understand it, and yet Reyes has been such a cool customer this year for the Rays that any sign of anything but that is alarming.
Joe Maddon's conversation is over. Stated that the Rays have thrown 2 players out at the plate today. They were the same player, just did it twice. And at the time, you're just kind of thinking, hey, well, instead of it being a 6-run game, it's a 7-run game. Or I think at that time it was 8. Here's the 2-0. It's a little bit low. 3 balls, no strikes, and Jose Guillen waits in the on-deck area. The 3-0 pitch. Get me over. Called a strike. It's 3-1. 13-12. Rays with a lead. Seattle batting here in the 9th. They've got 2 in. Infield back, outfield deep. Now the 3-1 to Vidro. Swing and a line drive and a right center. That's a base hit. Upton over to go cut it off. Vidro will take the turn at first, but he's going to stay right there with a 2-out single. So now the tying run is aboard.
And he's given up as many hits in a save situation as he has all year. And Jason Ellison will go out and run at first base for Vidro.
Number 9, Jason Ellison. Now batting for Seattle, right fielder, number 6, Jose Guillen.
So Ellison over at first base. Ellison so far this season is 0 for 1 in the stolen base category. Rays are sweating it out here. On a day when they had a 12-4 lead, it's now 13-12. Reyes from the belt, the pitch to Guillen. Over, but high for ball 1. Double barrel action in the Seattle bullpen. The Rays bullpen right now quiet. There's a force at second. Got to know that if you're on the Rays infield. In the outfield, they got to know they got to cut anything off in the gap. Now the 1-0. In there for a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. We had stated when the Rays had a 12-4 lead that the Rays have not won a game this year by more than 3 runs. If they're going to win in regulation, that trend will continue. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner at first. Reyes from the belt. Now the pitch to Guillen. Swing and a rocket foul down the left field line. Got started quickly on that one, but it's nothing but a strike, and it's 1-2. Crowd beginning to rise to their feet here at Tropicana Field. Trying to bring home a Rays winner here. I think some of them are kind of in shock that it's got to this point. The 1-2 pitch on its way to Guillen. High a ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, we haven't had a lot of action, and Reyes really hasn't had a lot of action of late. Times you do have a little ring rust. You're a little not as sharp as you've been in the past. 2-2 the count with 2 runs in and a runner at first base. Right hitter from the belt. Now the pitch to Jose Guillen is on its way. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the Rays hold on. Jose Guillen goes down swinging, and the Rays win this one by 1. 13-12 the final score. We'll take a break, come back, get some comments down on the field as the Rays close out the homestand with a W. Again, 13-12 our final score. We're back with more from Tropicana Field right after this on the Rays Baseball Network.
Generic Airlines welcomes passengers to Anytown Airport. Due to delays, connecting passengers should find a comfortable bench. All connections left an hour ago.
Flying doesn't have to be this way. Change is Delta now flying to more destinations worldwide than any...
Baseball. It's about loyalty.